ETFs, the world of investing. That's what I like to talk about. We'll probably talk about horses and dressage a fair amount, I would say.
Horses and dressage will come up more here than they do in the Money Stuff newsletter. And, we'll talk to people. Maybe we'll have some guests on, and we'll answer some reader questions if you have any. I'm Matt Levine, the Money Stuff columnist at Bloomberg Opinions.
And I'm Katie Greifeld. I'm a reporter and an anchor with Bloomberg News.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
We like to give. We give you news.
There is late breaking news.
Has been confirmed.
Multiple outlets have just reported.
We give you videos.
Watch us live on YouTube right now.
We give you a platform.
Go ahead, you're on Fox Sports Radio.
SGA is great as he is.
We give you the best sports talk lineup in the nation. All day, all night. We're giving it to you.
How you do anything is how you do everything, right?
Let's go. You know you're listening to Fox Sports Radio, the premier sports lineup in the nation. FS1. Lock in live sports and live shows on your TV. FS1.
Right now.
Find FS1 on your television or visit foxsports.com for details.
My list of gets for this week. She'll join us next, but first, Dan Beyer has a sports update.
Thanks, Stu. And news just in from the NBA is the Kawhi Leonard trade from the Clippers to the Toronto Raptors has now been put on hold, at least until after the investigation by the NBA into the Clippers and Leonard is over. The Raptors have released a statement saying that they will wait for the investigation before assuming the risk of possible punishments. The Clippers released their own statement explaining the details about the trade and also said they feel that they will be free of any punishments once the investigation is complete. But again, a trade call between the Raptors and Clippers put on hold by the NBA, and now the finalizing of the Kawhi trade will not happen until after that investigation is over. France and Morocco playing the quarterfinals of the World Cup comes up at 4 o'clock Eastern time on Fox. U.S. soccer midfielder Christian Pulisic will be sidelined several weeks because of a microfracture and bone bruise in his lower right leg. 17th American Coco Gauff lost in 3 sets today in the semifinals at Wimbledon in ladies singles. 10-seed Karolina Mukova ended up advancing past Gauff with a win in the 3rd set tiebreaker. She will face Linda Noskova in the final coming up on Saturday. Yankees up on the race, 10-4 the 7th inning, while the Braves and Pirates are back underway in Pittsburgh after a rain delay. Atlanta leads that one 6-4. Mets lead the Royals in the 9th, 7-3. Cubs and Orioles tied up at 1 in the 7th. Guardians lead the Twins 2-1 in the 7th, while the Red Sox have a 2-0 lead on the White Sox. That's in the 5th inning. Cardinals outfielder Jordan Walker taking part in Monday's home run derby in Philadelphia. Rory McIlroy has the lead at the Scottish Open. Round 1, 5-way tie for first at 5 under. McIlroy is one of the players. Brooks Koepka is 1 shot back at -4. Scotty Scheffler sits there at 2 under par and 3 shots back to the lead. An additional NBA note, guard Jordan Clarkson is back with the New York Knicks on a 1-year deal, paying him just under $4 million. And some news from the National Football League as the Washington Commanders have announced that they are retiring former running back John Riggins' number 44 jersey. The former Redskin and Commanders making that announcement today. Stu, back to you.
Very excited for this. Dreams do come true. Last year, I came out here, Dylan Dreyer with us from the Today Show. Last year, I told Taylor, my producer here, the only person I wanted on was you.
Which blows my mind. That is shocking to me.
You are my wife's favorite television personality. She watches you every single morning. She adores you. She loves you. She listens to the podcast, the Parent Chat podcast that you've started here.
Oh, thank you.
And we'll talk about that in a second. But we didn't get you on last year, so I was forced to come back this year.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Yes.
Like I was just saying to you, I feel like imposter syndrome when I'm here because it's all these athletes, it's all these like super famous people and me.
Yeah.
And so you make me feel better about myself. So thank you.
Oh, well, you're welcome. You're a big star. You know that. You really are. Where did your love of golf start, if you don't mind me asking?
It's probably like I guess now 15 years ago. I love to play sports, but there's no pickup game of field hockey happening anymore, right? Like once my days of field hockey are done, it's over.
Right.
So I got a set of clubs. I took some lessons.
Yeah.
I'm like, I really like this.
Yeah.
I've never been able to commit the amount of time to it that I would like to,
right.
Because as soon as I really started getting into it, I moved to New York. It's hard to golf when you live in the city. I had 3 kids. It's really hard to golf when you have 3 little kids.
Yes, I know.
And not feel guilty about all the time you're spending away from them.
That's the problem. I have twin girls. That's the problem. You're on the course for 3.5 hours. You're like, I should be spending time with my kids.
It's not quick. And then when you live in the city, it's then an hour and a half. Traffic could take 2 hours. So I play about as good as I should for as much as I play.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love the competition. I love being outside. I love the people you meet through golf, and it's special.
So you're not playing in the tournament this year, though.
I'm not.
I know. So what happened there?
I know. my niece, I knew she was getting married in July.
Right.
Like, what are the chances it's the same weekend?
Yes.
Like, there's no way it would be the same weekend. Sure enough, it's the same exact weekend. And my brother's, he's awesome. My brother's, he's like, listen, if this is something you got to do for work, like, you really should do it. And I could have played up that, I really need to be there for work card. But I knew better. He was actually going to come out with me because I'm, doing the pro-ams and all that kind of stuff for today and tomorrow.
Yes.
He was going to come as my caddy so he could see how cool it was, but his wife wouldn't let him. He's like, no, this golf tournament does not get to, rule this way.
Such a pressure kick, and he made it look so easy.
Welcome to the FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio is proud to present today's featured match, brought to you by Fox One, your audio home for FIFA World Cup 2026. iHeartRadio.
Well, we are getting to the business end of the World Cup, and with just 8 teams remaining, and each game intensifies as we move closer and closer to July 19th in New York. And today, we have a rematch of the 2022 semifinal between Morocco and France. Will Morocco exact revenge after ending their magical run against this France side in 2022? Or will France continue its quest to go to a 3rd straight FIFA World Cup final? Welcome into the 2026 FIFA World Cup on iHeartRadio. My name's Anderson Hurst. I'm joined by former Sounders captain and current Sounders play-by-play voice, Danny Jackson, as we take you all the way to kickoff in Boston between France and Morocco. But before we preview this match, Danny, let's quickly put a wrap on the U.S. Men's National Team World Cup as they bow out in the round of 16 to Belgium. That was our last broadcast that we all did together. So let's kind of write the eulogy, so to speak, for the United States Men's National Team at the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
And eulogy, unfortunately, it is. And the U.S., of course, did not play their best game, their worst game they've played, certainly in the tournament. 2 quick comments I would make. It was not a red card on Balogun. I think that was clear. It was an unfortunate decision, and that obviously created a cascade of events that really was a distraction, I think, to the team in the end. FIFA made a huge error on reversing that call and allowing Balogun, who, unfortunately for the poor kid, he got mixed up in this whole melee, was worldwide noise that came upon him, and the kid was probably distracted. There's no doubt about it. But for the US, they just didn't turn up. They're big-time players who people would look to for performances like Pulisic did not turn up. But in the end of the day, I think when you look at the level of play, I think Thierry Henry said it on TV, levels. And it is. You have a field general like Tielemans, who obviously pulled Belgium from the brink and scored that second goal, scored the penalty against Senegal. He was the field general. When the US didn't start fast, they sat on their heels momentarily. Belgium took that advantage and they pressed forward and they pushed. They forced the back line of the US to make mistakes. They were unsure, they were unsteady at times, didn't clear their lines for the first goal. And then when you do that and you start a game in that manner, all of a sudden the field starts to look a lot bigger. The defense backs up. You know, you've got Balogun, who really should have been opened up and allowed to run. Get some of that nervous anxiety and energy out of his legs and body after the last 24 hours before that game. Just not getting the challenge that works so well. But unfortunately, the US just couldn't get a grip of the game. At the end of the day, where are we now, and where do we need to look to for this US team? Well, in 4 years, of course, you know, they're not going to get the automatic bid. They have to qualify, of course, which they should. The question now is, where are the big-time players who are going to be able to drag a team in a game like that forward, who are going to demand more of each other, who are going to make a big tackle, force their players around them to do more, to run more, to fight more, to press more. These players like the Tyler Adams of the world, the Chris Richards, even Pulisic, Balogun potentially, they need to start thinking about where their next 4 years will be. Will it be at a Crystal Palace? Will it be at a Bournemouth? Or can it be at a Newcastle, a Man United, another big-time club on the continent of Europe where day in, day out, the expectations are set that they have to do more. They are the player that other players look to, not them looking at other players. And I think once the US have those kind of galvanizing figures, as they have in the past, Casey Keller, Tim Howard, Landon Donovan, Clint Dempsey, I think these are the change the U.S. needs is to have those game winners and those generals on the field.
Yeah, how would you characterize this 2026 World Cup as a whole? Because I don't think anyone would have the expectation that the U.S. should go and win the World Cup, maybe not even go to the final or semifinal. But I think a lot of people, especially after seeing those first 4 games, expected a bigger step forward towards becoming a soccer powerhouse in world football. And unfortunately, I don't think that you can say that, especially how they bowed out against Belgium in the round of 16.
I think I classified it as 3 steps forward, 1 step back.
Okay.
And I think that's the way I would still look at it. In terms of the teams they lost to, Turkey, a different team, yes, but Turkey are a good team. They expected to do more in this tournament as well. And of course, Belgium, with the type of players and world-class quality they have across the field, the players that came off the bench like Doku and Lukaku, of course, they beat the teams they should have beaten. But the way that they played against Paraguay, as an example, in that first game, where they played on the front foot, they played with speed and energy and youthful vigor, and they broke the lines, they scored great goals, they defended well as a unit. Don't forget, Paraguay caused havoc for France. France scraped through on a penalty, and they knocked Germany out. So if you look at that game in the manner in which the US can play against a real stout team, they took them apart. That's the blueprint I would look at as a team and a way to play against a team like that, which they didn't bring against Belgium.
Yeah, so unfortunately, the U.S.'s World Cup in 2026 on home soil is over. All 3 host nations fall out in the round of 16. Mexico losing to England in the round of 16. The U.S. obviously losing to Belgium in the round of 16, and Canada losing to Morocco. As we look at today, Morocco taking on France. That sets up this quarterfinal. Let's take a quick look at our knockout stage bracket. It's brought to you by the Home Depot. Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 setup. Build it like Beckham from living room to lawn with the Home Depot, and take the fast, free delivery assist. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter, subject to availability. As we look at our quarterfinal matchups, let's get a quick thought on each one, starting with Spain versus Belgium in the quarterfinal, that where the U.S. would have been if they won.
I think Belgium have underperformed. They came into the U.S. game, and the U.S. didn't take advantage of that. I think Spain come through this. They haven't conceded. They've looked strong. They are the type of team that will build momentum through a tournament, and they should get that win.
Norway versus England on the other side of things. Of course, Danny Jackson, our resident England expert here.
I would say English-born, but a U.S. citizen since 2012.
Hey, you still have one team left.
Yes, exactly. But for England, listen, it was one of the games of the tournament against Mexico. They showed the fight that maybe the English national team hasn't shown in years past. They got through what is arguably probably the biggest test. They had to get through that game at the Azteca, and now they play against Norway and Haaland, of course, who won that game in the round of 16. Dominant header, great shot from outside the box against a weakened Brazil, of course. But I expect England, if they can contain Haaland, but all he needs is one chance. If you can contain him and take advantage of some of the world-class players that England have in Bellingham and Kane, I think you get a win there.
Argentina, Switzerland on Saturday.
Well, Argentina have shown resilience, as they always do. Yep. They've come from behind so many times. Cape Verde, and of course in the last game against Egypt, I think Switzerland came through a penalty shootout. Maybe should have, were the underdog against Colombia. They came through that. I think Argentina should want to find a game that's a little bit easier.
Yeah, you look at Argentina's previous couple games, you would have expected, okay, now's when Argentina's going to wake up. Okay, now's when Argentina's going to wake up. And you could say that once again.
But they have world-class players that pull them out.
Exactly. And then finally, let's look at today's matchup, France versus Morocco on the other side of the bracket.
Well, I think France have shown just the ability to attack in numbers. They've scored the most, they've conceded the least. They've got world-class players all across the starting 11, and they have world-class players all across the bench. They are the deepest team in this tournament. The question is, can France get out of their own way when They have challenges in front of them. They've shown themselves to implode at times. But I think the Paraguay game, when the dark arts, as they call it, came into play, they were able to stand strong, fight their corner, and win that game. I think that will show themselves well for the rest of this tournament.
A step up in opponent definitely today against Morocco. With that, let's look at our lineups. They're brought to you by Fox One. The excitement of the FIFA World Cup is now streaming live on Fox One, the official English streaming platform to catch every unforgettable moment. Fox One brings the action straight to your screen so you never miss a goal. Download Fox One and experience the FIFA World Cup live. Danny Jackson, who is Morocco putting out there today?
Well, we think it'll be a 4-2-3-1 from Ouabi, who came into the managerial position just a handful of months ago. Bonu is going to be in goal. The back four of Hakimi, Diop, Mazraoui, and Saladin is going to be that left-hand side player. 18-year-old Bouadi, who's been a star man in the midfield so far. Fantastic. We'll see where he ends up at the end of this tournament. El Anawi is also going to play alongside him. It's Talbi, Unahi, and El Kanous. And then your forward man is Diaz with Safari out.
Yeah, it's an interesting lineup. Morocco already dealing with France. They're having to deal with a couple injuries today as well, so we'll kind of see how that looks with how they shape up on the field. As for France, have been to 2 straight finals. They have as strong of an 11 as there is in this World Cup. You got Mike Maignan in goal, Jules Kounda, Upamecano, Saliba, and Luca Digne as your back four. Just a solid back four. You got Adrien Rabiot and Kouadio Kone as your kind of double pivot midfielders, and then your attack. You have Ousmane Dembele, Michael Olise, Desiree Doué, and Kylian Mbappe as strong of an attack as I've seen at the World Cup in my entire lifetime, to be
$1 billion of talent in that starting 11, and maybe another billion or 500 million on the bench.
Oh my God.
Pretty incredible. And don't forget Didier Deschamps, of course, World Cup winning captain and coach. This is his last tournament.
Yep, one of 3 players to win it as a player and a coach in history. So he's, of course, a great man to lead this very strong 11 forward. Coming up next, we preview this match a little bit more tactically and look at our preview players to watch. You're listening to the 2026 FIFA World Cup on iHeartRadio.
iHeart. For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
This is Lele Pons from Suite 305 with Lele Pons. Game day at my house is chaos, but like in a fun way. The TV's ready, the remotes are ready, the kids' stores are going off, and somehow everybody needs batteries at the exact same time. That's why I keep Duracell stocked. And Duracell just released limited edition Duracell and Messi battery packs. The design is inspired by Messi's iconic left leg tattoo. So every battery feels like it comes with an extra kick. From the TV remote to automatic corkscrew, Duracell keeps us game day ready. Duracell double and AAA batteries are the only ones built different with power boost ingredients for long-lasting performance you can trust. Find the limited edition Duracell and Messi batteries in stores at Lowe's and Walmart or on Amazon.
FIFA World Cup takes the global stage from June 11th through July 19th on Fox One, the official English streaming platform of FIFA World Cup 2026. Stream all 104 matches live and get closer to the action with a personalized viewing experience built around you. Choose up to 4 streams with multi-view, catch highlights before jumping into the action, get live stats in real time, and replay key plays instantly. Experience the FIFA World Cup live on Fox One. Watch 3 days free. For details, visit Fox.com. Offers are subject to change. See Fox One for complete terms and conditions.
Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 viewing experience. Build it like Beckham from the living room to the lawn with the Home Depot. Create a box seating experience with flowers for pops of color surrounding your pitch, the smell of grilled favorites, and a freshly painted fence sporting your team's colors. Fast free delivery is your home field advantage with charcoal, string lights, or whatever the game calls for right to your door. A clean assist. Build it like Beckham for match day. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter. Subject to availability.
You've got to try the new TikTok diet.
Just ask chat.
I just take blue-green algae.
Or you could trust your gut. When it comes to your health, how do you know what's right for you? That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that analyzes your real-time biology to give you personalized nutrition guidance and custom supplements. Not trends, your biology. Many people who use Viome report better digestion, more energy, and improved mood within months. Stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at Viome.com. V as in Victor, IOME.com.
Welcome back to iHeartRadio's coverage of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. My name's Anderson Hurst, joined by Danny Jackson. We're taking you all the way to kickoff between France and Morocco in Boston. Should be a fantastic little kickoff to the quarterfinals here. Danny, it feels like a quarterfinals is like the step up in competition where things start to get quote-unquote real, right? I think a lot of times, especially in previous iterations of the World Cup, the round of 16 is where you could get a couple underdog matchups, so to speak, but the quarterfinals is where you start to see almost every single team have a serious bid to go all the way.
Yeah, I think Norway could be seen as somewhat of a surprise.
Sure.
But when you've got Haaland, you can't be surprised at that. They dominate, and Switzerland will be the other one. But they do have Granit Xhaka, who's a huge leader. They play together as a team. Many of those players, I think, on the starting lineup against Colombia, the least cap player had more than 30 caps.
Right.
So they have a very experienced team that played together well as a unit. But if you look at every matchup now, you'd be happy to see that matchup in the World Cup final.
Yeah.
That's the difference. The quality of individual players, the quality of teams. You're going to have 4 days now. Is it 4 days where you have the quarterfinals?
Oh, man.
4 days of incredible games where any of these teams potentially could go on and win the World Cup.
Yeah. Let's look at this one today. France versus Morocco to get us started here. Where do you think this game's going to be won and lost at what area of the park?
Well, I think easily to say is down that right-hand side for Morocco with Hakimi is the best right back in the world, and then can France take advantage of that left-hand side? Does Mbappe, that likes typically to play on that left-hand side, does he slide out? Does Elise hook around, play on that left-hand side? Does Doué, who's obviously going to start there, which gets the start in front of Barcola? That attacking four is the best in the world, no question about it. They have players like Cherki, as you mentioned, Barcola on the bench. That can come on and play as well and make a big impact. But I think the central area of the field is where it all happens. The engine of this game is going to be right there. Who's going to dictate tempo? Who can break lines with a pass? Who's going to put pressure and win in the counter press and win higher up the field? Buwadi, who's mentioned, 18-year-old player, very exciting young player. Can he raise his level even more to play against some of the best? And then Rabiot, of course, is an anchor player for them. He makes things tick. He's not your superstar, but you need players like that in the vital areas in the middle of the park, like Kone, to make things happen, to deliver the ball into the final third where your attacking players are.
Yeah, I think if you were to look at one small area for France where you could kind of get at them a little bit, it is that midfield area, right? And I think that's where Morocco, one of their strengths in this team as well. So I'm interested to see how they come out in this game. If the whole 2022 run was very, again, defend, and then hit on the counter. They've looked a little bit different in this tournament where they kind of take the game at teams a little bit. I'm curious if they do that against this firepowered France side.
You know what's interesting? We talk about Switzerland's being a great unit. So's Morocco.
Yes.
They've got very young players, but why do they play so well together? Because not many of these players, if any, from the starting 11 certainly, are born in Morocco. If you look at Diaz, Hakimi, both born in Spain, Buwadi born in France. So what Morocco did a number of years ago is build a scouting network. They went out and found heritage Moroccan players who had grandparents or parents who had moved abroad and whose young players now were playing at a competitive level, and they nurtured those relationships and they brought them back into the fold. The head coach for Morocco now came in this year, won the U20 World Cup with Morocco. So they have this network now where you're not going to see this Morocco team just play well in 2022 and that's it, like you sometimes see. You're going to see this team continue to flourish with youthful players coming through the ranks, whether you're born in Morocco or not. but they are going to have a team that's going to be here to stay for many years to come.
Speaking of those players, let's get our players to watch. Brought to you by Fox One. The excitement of the FIFA World Cup is now streaming live on Fox One, the official English streaming platform to catch every unforgettable moment. Fox One brings the action straight to your screen so you never miss a goal. Download Fox One and experience the FIFA World Cup live. Who are you looking at, Danny?
I'm looking at Hakimi. He's your main man down that right-hand side. We mentioned he was a former teammate of Mbappe, of course, at PSG. He just won a Champions League as well. We've seen him across the US and Club World Cup last year as well. He bombs up and down that right-hand side. He can be an attacking threat as a right back down that right-hand side. Digne is maybe a weak spot as well, the left back for France. Saliba has had injuries coming into this tournament, throughout this tournament. So can Hakimi get down the outside, be an attacking threat? But then counter to that, is he going to play his defensive role well enough to make sure that attacking lineup for France down that left-hand side don't penetrate through?
Yeah, I'm looking on the other side, on France's side. Obviously, you have Kylian Mbappe, but I'm looking at Michael Olise. And to me, with a France team that is very similar, you have a couple other younger players slotted in from the 2022 team. Obviously, that team was still fantastic going to the final as well. But Olise has been the guy that I think has unlocked this team a little bit. He's been, I guess you don't have the number 9 presence like an Olivier Giroud like in years past, and that's been kind of a quote-unquote weakness for France because you don't have that true poacher goal scorer. But I think it's countered by the fact that they can break down almost any team because of Michael Olise at this point.
Who do you mark now? You don't just eliminate an Mbappe. You've got to look at Doué now. You've got to look at Olise. You've got to look at Dembele, the World Player of the Year, another Champions League winner as well. I mean, you have 4 players that are going to be in all sorts of different areas of the field who are technically incredible, and then you've got players come off the bench and play those same positions at the same level. This is going to require 90-plus minutes of pure focus and concentration, playing on the front foot for this back line for Morocco.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what the tactical plan is for Morocco coming into this game, because we've seen so many teams just try and defend for 90 minutes against France, and I think that's kind of a death sentence without saying it any other way. Let's come back. Let's get our keys to the match. That's all coming up next year. We're nearing kickoff between Morocco and France to kick off our quarterfinals here in Boston, and you're listening to the 2026 FIFA World Cup on iHeartRadio.
iHeart is... This is Lele Pons from Suite 305 with Lele Pons. Game day at my house, it's chaos, but like in a fun way. The TV's ready, the remotes are ready, the kids' stores are going off, and somehow everybody needs batteries at the exact same time. That's why I keep Duracell stocked. And Duracell just released limited edition Duracell and Messi battery packs. The design is inspired by Messi's iconic left leg tattoo, so every battery feels like it comes with an extra kick. From the TV remote to automatic corkscrew, Duracell keeps us game day ready. Duracell double and AAA batteries are the only ones built different with power boost ingredients for long-lasting performance you can trust. Find the limited edition Duracell and Messi batteries in stores at Lowe's and Walmart or on Amazon.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
FIFA World Cup takes the global stage from June 11th through July 19th on Fox One, the official English streaming platform of FIFA World Cup 2026. Stream all 104 matches live and get closer to the action with a personalized viewing experience built around you. Choose up to 4 streams with multi-view, catch highlights before jumping into the action, get live stats in real time, and replay key plays instantly. Experience the FIFA World Cup live on Fox One. Watch 3 days free. For details, visit fox.com. Offers are subject to change. See Fox One for complete terms and conditions.
Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 viewing experience. Build it like Beckham from the living room to the lawn with the Home Depot. Create a box seating experience with flowers for pops of color surrounding your pitch, the smell of grilled favorites, and a freshly painted fence sporting your team's colors. Fast free delivery is your home field advantage with charcoal, string lights, or whatever the game calls for right to your door. A clean assist. Build it like Beckham for match day. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter. Subject to availability.
Please be advised, you may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
I thought those were good for me.
What's healthy for one person may cause inflammation for another. So how do you know what your body actually needs? That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple at-home gut health test that analyzes your real-time biology to give you personalized nutrition guidance and custom supplements. Many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and improved mood within months. Stop guessing. Start knowing. Visit Viome.com. V as in Victor, IOME.com.
Welcome back to iHeartRadio's coverage of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Anderson Hurst, Danny Jackson with you. We're almost to kick off between France and Morocco to start our quarterfinal matchups, and it's a great one to get us started here. Let's get our keys to the match, Danny. As we mentioned earlier, let's start with Morocco. What is the game plan do you think should be against this just insanely high-powered France side?
Well, I think Morocco will sit with a low block. They will absorb pressure, and then they will break quickly. They've shown that against the likes of Brazil, where they've managed to play the ball right through and score. They don't have their talisman up front, their top goal scorer, to kind of get in between those lines and find the space in behind. But I think Morocco will still lean on to the counter-attack and then set pieces and put this France team under pressure from the aerial ball.
Yeah, I think if you watch what happened with Paraguay, they defended so stoutly, as you mentioned, the dark arts as well, probably got into the heads a little bit of the French players, and that kind of put them off their game a little bit. It took a penalty pretty late on in the game for them to beat them 1-0. I wonder if Morocco takes that same mentality and similar to what gave them success in the 2022 World Cup, knowing that they have a lot of the same players that can do that, but it also is different from what's given them success at this World Cup. How do you combine those two thought processes?
Well, I also think France, having that game just before, now they are able to dissect that game as well. What did they do well? What didn't they do well? Were they able to break lines quickly enough? When they had the chance to transfer the ball quickly, did they get through those lines? The U.S. did that so well against Paraguay. They didn't allow Paraguay to set. When they won the ball in the counter press, they played quickly between the lines and they executed. That will be the key for France, is when they get a chance, you have to execute against a very good goalkeeper.
Yeah, what about France in terms of where they might feel vulnerable against this Moroccan side?
Well, I think Hakimi, we mentioned, will be a force down that right-hand side, but can France take advantage of those spaces left in behind him down that left-hand side? We know Mbappe likes to float out to that left-hand side as well, as does Doué, and then we'll see if Elise comes around with his preferred left foot as well. For me, it's the mentality of France. They've never gone behind yet. And the question is, if they do go behind, do they have the patience to play against a low block? And then do they have the patience to come from behind like Argentina have done so well?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big test for me, is if there is some adversity in this game for France. This is a step up from the opponents that I think they have faced compared to what they have, like I said, faced earlier in this tournament. So if something happens where it isn't going their way for whatever reason, I'm curious to see how they respond.
And if it goes to PKs, I'm betting on Morocco. Their goalkeeper Bonu is really good. He's powerful. That's a little weakness in the sticks for France as well.
All right, the blueprint is there. Let's see if Morocco can follow it. It's going to be a fantastic start to the quarterfinals. We have 8 teams left. Morocco and France. First 45 minutes are coming up next in Boston in just a fantastic matchup to get us started in the quarterfinals at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The first 45 minutes is next. We'll talk to you at halftime. You're listening to the 2026 FIFA World Cup on iHeartRadio.
You've been listening to our pre-match coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio. Fox's play-by-play coverage of today's match is coming up next.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Russ Faria was charged with a crime.
that he swore he did not commit.
No, I did not do this. I do not know how this happened. I did not do this. I was not involved with this.
Just after Christmas, Troy, Missouri, 2011.
The jury was left with no alternative, and in most people's words, the husband did it. Who else would have?
The prosecutor said it was rage, greed. We wouldn't be here if the answer was that easy.
In my opinion, an innocent man got charged with murder, and then it started to snowball from there.
I'm Keith Morrison. I've been a correspondent for Dateline NBC for 25 years. And in that time, I've never seen a story quite like this before. As we investigated this saga of murder, greed, lies, things became personal. What happens when a true crime show becomes part of the story? We could never have imagined.
I've worked on other cases that have twists and turns, but I've never worked on a case like this with so many twists and turns that were completely unpredictable.
From Dateline NBC, this is The Thing About Pam, the wild and unbelievable story of the murder of Betsy Faria.
I'd like to see this story conclude with justice. Betsy Faria has not received justice. Russ Faria has not received justice. Her family has not received justice.
And if we've learned anything in all the years we've followed this story, anything is possible.
Whoa.
I'm Keith Morrison. The Thing About Pam, an all-new podcast from Dateline NBC. Subscribe now.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one.
iHeartRadio's World Cup coverage continues as we join Fox's live play-by-play action of today's FIFA World Cup 2026 match. Follow all the exclusive World Cup action on iHeartRadio.
Inside, I expect Brahim Diaz to go centrally and float and find pockets. This Moroccan team's strength has been their ability to be dynamic. And the other one in the midfield, Bouadi, the 18-year-old, getting his start because the second youngest player ever to start a quarterfinal, Pele, the other in 1958.
Didier Deschamps, as he told Jenny Taft the other day, has lived half of his life with the French national team between player and coach. Almost 300 games in total. Today could be his last if they lose. Mohamed Wabi was in the fall winning the Under-20 World Cup with Morocco, including a semifinal win over France in that tournament. This is just his 11th game at the senior national team level as head coach. This World Cup began only 4 weeks ago in Mexico City. We've played 96 games since. 40 teams have come and gone. Only the 8 remain. And both these teams are hoping to be, in 10 days' time, down the road in New Jersey, playing in the final. Will it be the French once again? Can Morocco continue to make history as they did 4 years ago, and as they have continued to do at this tournament? It is hot. There is no respite from the sun down on that field in Foxborough. There's really no respite for most of the fans as well, the 64,000 of them here at what is officially known as Boston Stadium. And we've got 4 games over the next 3 days for you in this quarterfinal round of the FIFA World Cup. And quarterfinal number 1 is underway. It is France changing to what is technically a very light green. It is the Atlas Lions of Morocco wearing red. And it was the French in the searing heat of Philadelphia on the 4th of July that showed a different side of themselves. They had won comfortably and they'd won beautifully up until that point. They showed they could win ugly as well. The 1-0 victory over Paraguay to get them to a 4th consecutive quarterfinal against a very familiar opponent, Morocco. Not just familiar because they were the opponent of the semifinal last World Cup, but because the number of French-born players on the field and on the bench for this Moroccan team. And Morocco have made history by reaching a 2nd consecutive quarterfinal. No African nation has ever done that, but that's the question as we've been setting up for the last 2 hours. Can they go one further? Can they beat France for the first time ever? And can they get to the semifinal for a 2nd consecutive time? How do we expect this game to look here today?
Well, the first decision was going to be tactically, what did it look like for Morocco? It actually looks like El Khanous is playing as the striker. Talbi has gone out to the left. Brahim Diaz stays on this right side. So clearly Morocco liked the combination between Diaz and Hakimi on the right. The two of them work really well because he tucks inside. But the French team, look, they're going to get more pressure than they've seen throughout this tournament so far. Morocco like to high press. They like to play with the ball. I expect this game to have swings of momentum both ways. But for Morocco, it's going to be, can they match this French team for 90 minutes? Can they stay in tune? Can they not make mistakes? Can they keep the ball when they need to? Because I think the tempo of the game will be important in a match like this in this type of weather.
Brahim Diaz, nice little move inside of Lucadini that he nutmegs his way through Rabiot as well. Those moments are going to be so significant for Morocco to get the ball. What can they do with it? Tommy couldn't keep it on that one, though. Pressure by Brahim Diaz there. Issa Diop, one of the French-born players, one of the former French youth internationals, steering it back to Yassine Bono under some pressure. Just gets rid of it long.
And really, we talked about this so much throughout the pregame. This left side for France. The matchup between Desiree Doué, club teammate at PSG, with Hakimi. That is the strength for the Moroccan team, is Hakimi's ability to get into the attack. Interested if Doué can keep him pinned back by keeping a high position.
Ousmane Dembele on the outside. Jules Koundé will overlap him, come into Elise. Upamecano there to get it, and that's part of the familiarity, is how many club teammates, current and former, are out there on that field, frequent opponents as well. So Doué skips inside of Hakimi, plays for Mbappe, found a pocket of space, and pulls the shot just wide. No, it did take a touch on the way through. Boy, you give him an inch and he'll take the whole mile.
Instant, his thought comes underneath the back line, gets a pocket, gets turned, hits a great looking shot, and Bono had to be alert. France play this one short and quick.
Dembele will clip it into the back post. Upamecano's there. Bono the save. Pushed it away. He has been the hero for them time and time again, Yassine Bono. And it takes the French just 4 minutes to put him to work.
What a chance, by the way. And what a save from close proximity. I think Upamecano was 3 yards away from him. But as you'll see when this ball comes in, his momentum's taking him away from goal, so he can't generate the power. And he's already jumped now, so he's just trying to redirect it on goal. He's doing the right thing by trying to get it into the ground to make it difficult for Bono, and here come France again.
That was Doué knocked down behind the play. Mbappe burst to speed to the byline, can't catch up to it all the way out.
But what Bono did really well in that moment was he didn't overcommit. He's not trying to guess or anticipate too much, but look, he stands tall to the very last minute and reacts. He's actually starting to lean to his left, thinking, potentially anticipating it's going to go to that near post. Big time save. But here's the question for Morocco. Can they have spells with the ball? We talk so much about the French going to feel a bit of pressure from this Moroccan team, and they're going to get tested at the back as well, Didier Deschamps' team. But this will be the most they have felt, certainly, throughout this tournament. France really putting the pressure on early, high pressing up the field, forcing some long balls, not allowing Morocco to play through them. They're going to eat that up all day at the back.
And yet Morocco off to a better start in this game than the semifinal 4 years ago. They were already down a goal at this point. Part of why they had such a huge share of the possession in that semifinal 4 years ago, is the French were up early. Happy to just sit back. And Achraf Hakimi And he's got friends and teammates, current and former, out there on France, plays for PSG. Extending his own record, 16th World Cup appearance for him, more than any Moroccan player in history. That pass was steered inside. El Anaoui was first to recover it. Another French-born player. You've got 3 in total on the field. El Anaoui in the middle. Boadi as well. Issa Diop at the back. All born and raised in France. Choosing to play for Morocco instead. And Diop, for that matter, on the ball. He said in an interview 8 years ago he would never play for anyone but France. As he said in the interview to a French outlet, even if I'm never called up by the senior team, I will never play for anyone else. He had been a teammate of Kylian Mbappe's, winning an under-19 European championship. But the French never called. And 8 years later, Morocco and Senegal, where each of his parents are from, they were calling. And now here's Issa Diop on the field at this World Cup.
Well, prolonged spell of possession here for Morocco to get the type of look that they want, which is now building with 3 center backs essentially, and Hakimi high and wide on the right where they want him, which allows then Brahim Diaz to come underneath and find some space. But France staying very compact centrally, not allowing those penetrating balls to find him.
Biggest challenge right now for Morocco is that balloon on the field. Here's Rabiot. Doué on the outside. Poked away by Boadi. And then Doué commits a foul, trying to win it back. Really the first stoppage of play we've had for an awful long time. Diaz clipping it forward. Hakimi in chase to the byline is going to run out of room. First time in a while, though, that Morocco have had that sort of possession. Gianni Infantino amongst the dignitaries, some of whom are in the shade, some of whom are in not. And a warm day in Foxborough. Upamecano will open up wide for Ousmane Dembele. And he had a great spot there for Mbappe. Just put too far in front of him. Good work by Kone to win the loose ball back in the middle in front of Boadi. Out to Doué. Doué, that was blocked by Diop. Boadi on the ball, 18-year-old from France. He was captaining the French under-21s in March, although reportedly already had his decision made to switch to Morocco. A player you've been very impressed with, a player making history by starting World Cup quarterfinal at 18.
And on a hot day, he feels like one of the coolest characters out there. I remember watching that opening game against Brazil, the way he controlled that midfield and has been an ever-present in there. Number 6, willing to take the ball under pressure, knows when to speed the game up, knows when to slow it down, and it feels like a game where he's not afraid of the moment. And he will be in the biggest game of his life with the biggest test of his life. He's got to try to deal with Olise and Mbappe floating off his shoulder and trying to find connection and harmony with his teammates. Here he is again on the ball now.
Youngest since Pele in 1958 to start a World Cup quarterfinal. Oh, Rabiot knocked off the ball. Hakimi's pressure there, and then it's overhit. That was Hilkenhaus there trying to go wide for Talby, and now he's down in a bunch of pain. We play on. That ball never went out of play on the far side. Promising moment that broke down there. Alcanal's back to his feet and rejoining the play. And you get the sense that's what the pattern of the game might be, is long spells of not nothing, but of less, and then quick little moments of chaos, and who can react to them. Dembele, Olise, tournament leader in assists. One ahead of Brahim Diaz. Olise just trying to draw in Salah-Eddin. Koundé for Upamecano had the best chance of the game so far. And Diaz able to intercept that pass. Now can Morocco go on the counter? Brahim Diaz carrying forward. France are backing off. Diaz all on his own right now. And Manu Kone's not having any of that. Diaz is down behind the play. Brahim Diaz is still slowly, gingerly getting to his feet on the other end of the field as it's rolled through for Mbappe, waiting for support against his former youth French teammate. Mbappe on Diop. Cuts it back to the top of the box, poked away by Talbi. They're going to reset for Koundé. Mbappe once more. Wide for Olise. Salah-Eddin defending. Kylian Mbappe. Threads it in. Adrien Rabiot. Doué. Luka Digne, chance to cross, gets it in, header away there. Mazraoui able to change his direction to head it out.
I mean, the Moroccans standing strong right now, but it just feels so surgical from the French. The way they move the ball with purpose. Mbappe's running off the ball, just so effective, dragging defenders wide, opening up spaces, getting a team on balance. But yet Morocco, in those moments, able to close the defense and then really not dive in and open up the gaps too much. But that pressure is building and building from this French attack.
Now the French have a free kick in a dangerous position on the edge of the attacking part of the field as Olise goes down. There was that one earlier with Brahim Diaz that wasn't called.
And he's having to do a lot when he's in possession, Brahim Diaz, where he's running with the ball. He's got 2 or 3 guys around him. He can slip out of one challenge. And then the problem is, here comes the second, here comes the third. It's where you're really feeling the miss of Saibari in a game like this.
Dembele, the fake. Olise sends it in. Mazraoui heads it out. Doué able to find Mbappe. Poked away, second chance, jumped there first. And Talbi just had nowhere to go, so he retreats to Bono. And now he's under some pressure.
All under control.
But just how they drew it up.
Yeah, Talbi, he looks up, and there's nobody forward in the field. El Khanous has to keep that depth to the team. I know he wants to come in, and he's been playing wide left. It's not natural to him, but he needs to continue to stretch the field and be an outlet for Morocco to continue to keep this French defense honest. Nice combination here.
Advantage being played. Diaz coming forward. Lost the handle on it. Now, will the referee bring it back for a free kick? He will. As that was Unagi who went down. And no advantage came from it.
Yep. Digne catching Unagi as that ball was gone. So Morocco going to use this not only to get a couple fluids on board on this near sideline, but set up a set piece. I'm interested. Issa Diop come up. It looks like they will bring everybody up for this.
Now he will walk away. It'll be Hakimi to take it. Has 2 assists at this tournament. And it's just about everybody up for Morocco. Everyone back for France. Hakimi. And I'm going to defer to you on what his intention was there.
I think he was attempting to shoot that, actually. Maybe trying to catch Magnan off his line. Maybe a little Ronaldinho versus England. But
you have to save those for Saturday in Miami.
Yeah.
Poor David Seaman. Legendary goalkeeping career, and he gets so many times remembered for the worst moment. But now a chance for Morocco to press a little bit higher. Chance for Morocco to put a little bit of pressure on the French. That was a great touch in there by Olise to nutmeg El Aoui. And release it to the near side. Mbappe now. Just glides, poked away. I mean, you pointed out when he was right next to us warming up pregame, he's a bigger dude than you give him credit for.
Well, when he opens up that stride and that momentum and that power, more importantly, that he has, he's so difficult to defend. He thinks and felt that, no, it actually came off his heel in the end, so that's the right decision. But he's buzzing around early. He looks like he means business in this game, as he has all tournament long. But the challenge for Morocco and what I'm seeing from Mbappe is he's running you behind, and then the next play, he pops up underneath. So you really have to have faith in your defensive structure and everybody's responsibilities, because if you start to follow him, that's when the space opens up for other players. But he's finding a little bit of space and gets turned and has such a quick release with the shot as well.
Mbappe 1 behind Messi at this tournament for goals, 2 behind Messi for the all-time record, but no player in history has scored more goals in games like these, World Cup knockout games, than Kylian Mbappe. Olise driving in. Still Olise. Now Mbappe. Out to Desiree Doué. Hakimi to meet him. Doué hooks the cross in. Back post header. Wide. And Bono seemed much more comfortable than any of the French fans that was going to be looping wide.
Well, Olise came inside and attracted the entire defense. So now you can see the Moroccan defense really trying to get their shape back. Dembele had drifted in at the far side. Comes back to get the cross because it was a little under hit. And he's trying to redirect it to get the power on it to the far post. Doesn't test Bono's goal.
4th shot for France, still none for Morocco.
But that's a concern for Morocco defensively, especially when that many numbers for France are in the box.
This is the 7th all-time meeting between these nations, the first time they've played since that semifinal in Qatar. Morocco have never won. 4 losses and 2 draws. And that's a handball and a free kick for France. Ousmane Dembele, reigning World Player of the Year. His shot is blocked. Part of the embarrassment of riches the French have, certainly in the attacking part of the field. And that was something Didier Deschamps told Jenny Taff yesterday. He said, I find it harder actually to coach players who are better than they think they are. These guys know that they're good, but they also understand, Deschamps told Jenny, that they're part of a collective, and the collective strength is more powerful than the individual strength. There's Dembele again. Trying to thread that one through. Koundé cutting it back off Mazraoui, out for a French corner. France created their best chance of the game off of their first corner, the Upamecano header that was saved at close range by Bono just about 4 minutes in. Olise takes it short. Dembele clips it into the box. Rabiot will put it over. As we said, Deschamps, this could be his final game in charge as Bono's under immediate pressure. We know he's leaving the French job at the end of this tournament. He's hoping he's got 2 more games to come as France win the ball back high up the field. And Doué dancing on it.
Actually seeing bottom left of your screen, just off screen, Hakimi talking to Bono about some of the build-out. Morocco really struggling to possess the ball, trying to play through the French pressure. They just can't right now, and it's resulting in the French starting to squeeze them in their own half.
Olise, that's too much on the far side. Koundé couldn't keep it in play.
Nothing come of it yet, but even right now, continuing that conversation with Bono. So I wonder if at a point they're just going to push up and try to play direct. It looks like that's actually what they're going to do here off this goal kick. So that tells you, look, we're tired of being under pressure. We don't want to give the ball away. We don't want to play into your strengths. So let's try and win this ball further up. Maybe it results in a throw-in, but it's going to go straight out of bounds. So it does result in a throw-in, but a French one. But at least they don't have the ball 20 yards from their goal.
I mean, is that a sign of resignation for Morocco, or is that intelligent of them?
Well, a bit of both. I think it's, look, you've got to feel the game. You know when you're playing France, you're going to be under pressure for long stretches. And if you can look, so here's the perfect example. They went out for a French throw, but now the French have turned it over. Morocco have possession with a throw-in. So they've survived a 5 to 10 minute period where they were under pressure, and now maybe have the chance to have some of the ball, at least take off that pressure directly in front of their goal. But they've turned the ball over again.
And now Elise quickly for Mbappe and gets it back, and the French in some transition. Dembele, Saladin jumped the passing lane, couldn't get there. Dembele had to get it wide, and then Saladin getting a start because of the injuries at the back, wins the tackle in the end. Well, Canals, he's got Talbi running up the far side, Upamecano running with him. Shamseen Talbi played it in, there's no one anywhere near it in a red shirt. And now the game is a bit stretched. Next stoppage of play should be the hydration break. Mbappe, can he get it away? No. Takes the tackle from Hakimi. Mbappe's down in pain. Referee says no foul. Morocco the other way. Brahim Diaz has Hakimi for support. Mbappe back to his feet as it comes in for Hakimi. Couldn't get through Digne, but now Morocco will have their first corner of the game.
And believe it or not, Hakimi's first touch of the game in the attacking third at this part of the game. It was one of Thierry's big questions about Morocco. Their best part of their attack is Hakimi on the right, and they played it quickly here.
In for Brahim Diaz. Diaz will cross it in, back post. No one there in a red shirt. And France able to play through, at least momentarily play through the pressure. That one's not going to be a foul. Doué just stopped. He thought he was fouled. Diaz back in now. Mizrahi won the ball. Brahim is able to scoop it in. Body, can he bring it down on Rabiot? It's going to be hooked away by Saliba, only as far as Hakimi. Tough tackle from Doué. Got his revenge for a moment ago. And now the French come the other way. Mbappe has it. Mizrahi trying to recover. Kylian Mbappe goes down. Penalty for France. No hesitation from Facundo Teo. And from one end of the field to the other, the French have an opportunity to take the lead.
And here you go. This is why we're talking about Hakimi and when he attacks the balance. But here's the danger the other way. They come down the side that he had vacated into the attack. Mbappe, lightning quick, the other way. There will be a question, is this a foul? No, absolutely not. Doué pokes it away. Elise drives inside, opens up the space. Mbappe, 1v1 open field. Good luck. Gets you off balance. Mizrahi commits, tries to go to ground. I don't know why in the box you make that challenge. Trust your goalkeeper. Give him a chance. Instead, when you go to ground like that, Mbappe touches the ball with that little extra touch, draws in the foul. Absolutely a penalty. And a chance for Kylian Mbappe once again from the spot.
Mbappe scored a penalty in the last round in Philadelphia. Went to the bottom right-hand side. Yassine Bono, the goalkeeper, he's known for his heroics in penalty shootouts. Well, and maybe not be relevant, the fact that he's never stopped one in a game.
Well, it looked like a clear foul to me, certainly from Mizrahi, but... And if we're thinking about the one on Doué, that did not look like a foul on Hakimi.
Hello of Argentina is just wanting an extra minute to take a look at this as Facundo Teo, the on-field referee, sets the players. Kylian Mbappe, 19 goals in 19 games played in his World Cup career. Trying to make it a clean 20 for 20 and give the French the lead here in the rematch of the semifinal from 4 years ago. We are still going to wait for the video assistant referee to have all the time he needs to take a look at it. We are still officially in a check. And so Mbappe is going to come forward and restart his sequence.
Yeah, you don't want to be standing there as part of your sequencing as a striker where, and look, now Bono comes up. This is all part of the mind games. But this seems like a very long time for this.
Check is complete. Correct decision to award the penalty. Now what can Kylian Mbappe do with it? And he's going to reset the ball again. The referee didn't like the placement of the ball. Here we go. Mbappe against Yassine Bono. Saved!
And Mbappe trying to just wait for Bono to go. And when he did go, he went the right way. And Mbappe's immediate reaction after that was straight to the referee. He felt that that was held up way too long. That whole process, clearly feeling it put him off. But big time save, and Bono denying Mbappe.
First career penalty save for his country for Yassine Bono. Hydration break will come a bit delayed at the next stoppage of play. France would love to just put one in the back of the net anyway. Mbappe, clever little flick, not going to come off there for Doué. And it's going to be cleared out by a sliding Boadi.
And look at Mbappe again. He's going to go and speak to the referee right now about this whole process, which clearly he's frustrated with the amount. And even as that whistle, Brent, it cued him straight away on the penalty that ends up being missed.
This hydration break is powered by Powerade. Yassine Bono, goalkeeper for Morocco, with the two biggest moments so far here in this World Cup quarterfinal in the heat in Foxborough.
This is Lele Pons from Suite 305 with Lele Pons. Game day at my house, it's chaos, but like in a fun way. The TV's ready, the remotes are ready, the kids' stores are going off, and somehow everybody needs batteries at the exact same time. That's why I keep Duracell stocked. And Duracell just released limited edition Duracell and Messi battery packs. The design is inspired by Messi's iconic left leg tattoo. So every battery feels like it comes with an extra kick. From the TV remote to automatic corkscrew, Duracell keeps us game day ready. Duracell double and AAA batteries are the only ones built different with power boost ingredients for long-lasting performance you can trust. Find the limited edition Duracell and Messi batteries in stores at Lowe's and Walmart or on Amazon.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736.
Back live in Foxborough, Dr. Joe Machnik, U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer, and our referee analyst, Joe, that was a very, very long check. We understand those are match-critical decisions to give or not give a penalty. How long is too long, though? Because it certainly seemed like it affected Mbappe.
Well, certainly VAR protocol doesn't put a time limit on the amount that the time that the VAR has to look at it. I've been looking at this play at slow motion at length just to see if the defender got a touch on the ball. Even with stop action, the ball doesn't turn in direction, doesn't change in spin. So that certainly should have been figured out and seen more quickly.
And I guess the question to you then, Stu, I mean, how much for a player of Mbappe's quality and skill, should that be a reason why he missed it? Or is it the reason why, do you think?
I think just the nature of it, though. And it was like, okay, go, no, wait, no, we're still checking. And and Mbappe reset himself a number of times. And I think maybe in hindsight, he would have loved to have reset completely once there was finally a go-ahead. It wasn't a great penalty, though. And he would be the first one to admit that. No excuses from that side. The other side, it took way too long. It was very clear that was absolutely a penalty. But here come France, and now they look angry.
And that's the last thing you need from this French team, as Paraguay found out eventually. Here's Dembele. Cutting it back. Ousmane Dembele puts it wide. 8th shot of the game for France in 32 minutes.
And look at the chop there with the right. Gets 2 defenders going. Comes back to the left. Starts it out too far outside the post with the left. And once again, Morocco have almost abandoned the playing out of the back for just the time being, which to me is a very mature and game recognition of what the game is giving to you at the moment. And play your way into the game. Maybe it'll open up a little bit more in the second half, but being slightly more risk averse. It becomes, here's Doué, look at that.
Almost left the ball behind him and then gets bumped off it.
But I think Morocco need a spell on the ball to show themselves again and show that they're a threat with possession. It just, the game connection is gone for them right now. And France are the team that are buzzing around on the ball. Here, look at Elise.
Elise and Jupp just held his ground there. I guess that's the next part of the question. They've only forced 2 saves out of Yassine Bono, one of them from the penalty. Is this a bad situation for Morocco to be in?
No. You haven't conceded. You still have threatened at times in getting forward, and they can be more efficient with the ball. But these stretches, as I said out at the beginning, are very important in games against France. You know, with their quality, they will get opportunities. It's can you withstand that and play your way into the game like they've just done here. It's a very good sequence. Really important to use the ball in moments to almost rest, but then also make this French team work a little bit to try to press and win the ball back.
Tomorrow on Fox, the quarterfinals continue. Spain taking on Belgium in Los Angeles. Coverage starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, live on Fox. Winner of that game will face the winner of this game Tuesday afternoon in Dallas in the first of the semifinals at this tournament. Belgium riding high after their big win over the United States. Spain, the European champions, trying to do what Spain did back in 2010, which is win the World Cup as European champions. Does not happen nearly as often as you might think. Great touch by Boadi to get away for Unahi. He's got Brahim Diaz running to the middle, and maybe just didn't quite pick the right lane for that pass. Jump is there in front of Rabiot to win it back, though, for Morocco. Saladin almost got his pocket picked by Dembele. And then it's taken away by Doué. Boadi, the teenager, lost it. Doué running in. Desiree Doué, save Yassine Bono. 3rd stop of the game, out for a corner.
And the first mistake of the game from the 18-year-old Boadi. Had the pass, opted to try to take an extra touch right here. To play the ball wide, opt to try to cut it back. It's pocket picked, and Doué down to the right of Bono. The experience of Bono again with a huge save. And Doué, really positive slashing run, just didn't have enough power on the finish. Otherwise, it finds the corner. So Morocco still keeping the French scoreless. But those are key moments. Can't turn possession over like that when you're in that offensive set and you've got your fullbacks high and wide, because it leaves you exposed defensively.
Elise, the ensuing corner outswinger, and not a ton behind that. It might have actually ricocheted off 2 French players. It is certainly true that against Senegal and against Paraguay. It took France a long time to get the first goal, but they were not creating nearly as many chances in that intro. That's a huge collision in the middle. Referee says play on. Pass was behind Mbappe. It is interesting that our referee, Facundo Teo of Argentina, very experienced, he seems very focused on the placement of the ball on set pieces, and he seems much more willing to just let contact go. Sort of what he's choosing to keep a sharp eye on.
I mean, Hakimi right now, Morocco's right back is taking up a position as a center forward. Which is interesting is, you know, when they have possession like this, he's trying to find ways to get on the ball. It speaks, though, more to me of them just not having a threat in behind right now. Nobody, actually, Talby's making the first run I've seen that tries to open up the space. And what a run like that does, it forces France's back line just to drop a touch, and that can open up the space in front of them and behind the midfield, which is where Morocco are so dangerous when Brahim Diaz can get on the ball. Those are the spaces we just have not seen Morocco in this game so far.
Morocco playing without the injured Ismail Saibari, who made history by scoring in all 3 games in the group stage. That was almost a giveaway by El Anawi there, and it's actually going to end up as a foul as Kone stepped in. And they're also without Shadi Riyad, the center back, so 2 key starters for them, to say nothing of the players, multiple starters they lost to injury before the tournament even began.
And that was the run of Doué, and he had an option to his left, so that meant that Diop had to stay wide and give that an honest job, and Doué just busts through the gap, hits the shot. Another big save from Bono, who has been the difference so far. He saved the penalty, a couple of really big saves, keeping the French at bay.
Elise able to keep it in tight traffic there, able to win it back as Morocco had it for a moment. Dembele couldn't get it out from underneath his feet. It's cut back for Diaz. He's trying to keep it on Saliba. He's knocked down, and then he handled the ball, so it's either going to be a free kick for a foul or for a handball. It is Morocco's. And a bit of a hesitation again there from the referee of what decision he wanted to make. Getting screamed at by players on both sides. You see what France have done in recent World Cups. They've twice lost finals in penalties. They've twice failed to qualify in recent decades. They've twice failed to get out of the group stage. What it means, France have only actually been beaten in a knockout stage game once in the last 40 years. That was by Germany in the quarterfinal in 2014, because a penalty shootout loss counts as a tie. They don't always get to this spot, the French, but once they do, they're awful hard to dislodge. Brahim Diaz now from Munahi. Talby to the outside. Diaz, Shemzine Talby to the byline. Talby cutting it back, took a deflection there. That was Jules Koundé sliding in to block it. Saladin runs forward, heads it along, and Talby is offside. He's limping a bit anyway. It's out for a goal kick.
But that was the best stretch of possession and attacking quality that we have seen from Morocco all game. And I think it just speaks to that we're creeping towards the end of the first half here, and the spaces are opening up a little bit. They're taking better touches under pressure. Technically, they're so comfortable spreading the field out and then getting the look that they wanted on the far side with Talby attacking the goal. Just didn't quite get the cross and the runs into the box that they were looking for, but that would be an encouraging spell there for Morocco.
5 minutes to go in the half here in Foxborough. On a very warm day in Massachusetts, the first sign of shade creeping its way across the near sideline. Kone, Mbappe, Olise, Saladin knocked it away. Coming up, the Bank of America halftime show on Fox. Rebecca and company here in the stadium in Foxborough. Great to have them on the road with us once again. They were in Seattle They were in the stadium in LA for opening night for the United States. As we get down to the final 10 days of this World Cup. Hard to believe. And for the first time all day, a cloud is going to block the sun.
And you with the biggest celebration right now.
I am beyond thrilled, as is all of our electrical equipment, by the way, which is about 200 degrees.
And the crowd, you hear the big cheer from them. Everybody happy for a little reprieve from the sunshine.
Tomby. And El Kanaus with Upamecano right on top of him. That's going to be a free kick for Morocco. Shakira in the stands. It's taken quick. It's in play right now. Brahim Diaz had a chance to run through, and Jules Koundé knocked it away. World Feed director seemed unaware that ball was in play for a while there. And then Rabiot is fouled by Onahi.
And I think Morocco will be encouraged, could they, and their fans as well, if they can get into this half at 0-0. They'll feel that they really came into the game a little bit more as the half went on. But they've withstood the first wave of the French attack and then the second wave, but they've saved the penalty as Dembele might get to this. But the problem with playing France is you've got to withstand 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it will keep coming. They've got options off the bench that they can hit you with in the second half. And this is a Moroccan team, as we said. They're without some key players. They're a little banged up. They went to extra time and penalties against the Netherlands. But they certainly have the spirit, they have the quality, and they're very much in this game as much as France have been more of the aggressor.
And it was a slow burn for them against the Canadians Saturday in Houston. Scoreless at the half. It was only 1-0 until 10 minutes to go, and they were able to get 2 late ones.
But you do have to get to the half at 0-0. That is absolutely paramount.
And you imagine we'll have quite a bit of stoppage time because of that lengthy check by the video assistant referee on Mazraoui's penalty foul against Mbappe that ended up being saved. It was a great flick there by Doué, and Mbappe wasn't quite prepared for it. Brahim Diaz, as you said, just has nothing in front of him. It's only sideways and backwards as he tries to play positive. Manu Kone now. Great work to get away from 3 Moroccan players.
So good.
Mbappe just keeps it moving for Upamecano. Dembele. Boy, he had a run up the middle there. He's going to come sideways instead. It was Jules Koundé who's going to stay forward now as an extra body up front for France. Koundé's going to chase. No, he's not going to chase it down. He was in chase from Upamecano. What's Didier Deschamps thinking about all this right now, you think?
I think he'll be satisfied with the first half. But look, they had a penalty that was saved. Had a couple of really good opportunities that were saved by Bono. His team are in control. He's always been aware of the threat of Morocco. But one of the things he did say in the lead up to this match is we need to be efficient with our chances. We respect Morocco. We know it's going to be a tough match. We know the quality they have. We also know the opportunities we can create with our quality. Antoine Griezmann
of Orlando City in MLS right now, of course. Who, incidentally,
French legend.
All 4 goals France scored in each of the last 2 World Cup quarterfinals were him, either assisting or scoring. He was a big game player for them in the knockout stages at each of the last 2 World Cups. And it'll be fun to see him playing here in the United States come the resumption of MLS next week. We will have 5 added minutes here at the end of this first half. The hydration break and the lengthy check before the penalty. Mbappe trying to run through on that one. Bono there to clear the edge of his box. France out shooting Morocco 10-0. 3 saves made by Yassine Bono in this first half. Doué hunts the ball back from El Kanaus. Olise was able to get through on Brahim Diaz. Here's Ousmane Dembele now. Dembele just toying with Salah Eddin. Going to hook it along now for Doué, who lays it down for Rabiot. Eddin able to chase it down. Last man back is Saliba. Kone, his shot blocked. Always going to feel that one in a moment. Dembele keeps it in play. Dembele running in the middle. Nutmegs the pass through. Olise couldn't turn cleanly. Olise's shot closed down by Mazraoui. Lucadinho holds it in. He'll let it go, and it clips off the top of the bar.
Wow.
Did not take a touch off Bono.
And I don't know if Bono pulls his hand back here or not, but Dina says, okay, I'm striking this. And what a strike it is. Look at the movement. Oh, he got a touch on it. He had fingers on that ball. And look at that ball swerving. And it's almost like even just the trajectory catches Bono a little bit by surprise. It's so difficult to predict. He had to get a hand up to that, smashes into the crossbar. And that would have been the least likeliest goal scorer on the field.
One of the least likely players on this French squad. He was last at a World Cup in 2014, was among the last players cut at each of the last 2 World Cups. And 2 years he was away from the French team until the fall of 2024. Going close on that one. 2 minutes gone of the 5. Still 3 minutes for Morocco to get through until they can get to the break. Desiree Doué with the skill. Can he ride Hakimi there? They both go down. Decision is going to be a foul and a free kick for Morocco, looks like.
Well, I'm sure Hakimi has seen Doué do this a million times in practice. The touch before that. And then he takes him on 1v1. Again, I'm sure a familiar sight in practice. They both got a hold of each other. And the foul is given, I think, for that there. The first pull by Doué, pulling Hakimi down, who gets his body in front and then tries to head it out. Really fun battle between the two of them all half long.
Good header won by Rabiot.
Dembele's got some space, yeah.
Dembele from Mbappe. Salah Eddin retreating defensively. Dembele trying to cut him back. And now Salah Eddin drafted in because of injury. Out at left back. Second time today he's won a really important duel on the outside with the reigning world player of the year, Ousmane Dembele. And now Unahi the other way from Morocco. Less than 2 minutes to go in the half. Could they spring a surprise before the break? El Kanaus for Hakimi. Quite literally, no players in red in the attacking box right now. They're all 20 yards away or more from goal. Diaz. Blocked by Rabiot. It's a handball. It's a free kick from Morocco just outside the corner of the box.
Yeah, just outside. As the ball was coming in from Brahim Diaz, you see Rabiot's right hand. And did it take a deflection off his body before? It looked like it came off his shoulder, but that hand is out in an unnatural position there. Wow, what an opportunity this is going to be. Hakimi typically takes the set pieces, but I've got to think with the right foot, this suits a left footer. This is Brahim Diaz all over it. And it's the type of area where you want to be hitting this towards the goal. France setting a very deep defensive line right now. I'm interested if they push that up to give Maignan a little bit more space, or do they have bodies on top of Maignan and he's just going to try to hit this through traffic towards the far post. Really interesting opportunity here for Morocco.
In the 50th and final minute of the first half. It's Hakimi who was trying to pick out the near post, but put it well wide in the end. And that's the first shot of the entire game for Morocco.
Yeah, he's trying to either make France think that he's going to pull back away, and Diaz hits it with the left. That's why the angle is really hard for a right-footed player there, because you have to get your body and your hips around the ball. Try to come around the side of the wall. It didn't happen. Still very much to play for here.
Kylian Mbappe the best chance. The penalty save. Still nothing decided in the first of our World Cup quarterfinals. 45 minutes down. 45 to go here in Foxborough. No score between France and Morocco.
Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 viewing experience. Build it like Beckham from the living room to the lawn with the Home Depot. Create a box seating experience with flowers for pops of color surrounding your pitch, the smell of grilled favorites, and a freshly painted fence sporting your team's colors. Fast free delivery is your home field advantage with charcoal, string lights, or whatever the game calls for right to your door. A clean assist. Build it like Beckham for match day. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter. Subject to availability.
Hi there. Welcome to Huntington Bank. We're new here, but we've been around since 1866, and we believe that we should all get more from money.
Okay, like what?
Well, like bankers that take the time to learn your whole financial picture and help plan the best path with you.
That sounds good.
And accounts that automatically build your savings each day.
Ooh, I like that.
How about getting paid up to 2 days early?
Okay, now you're just showing off.
Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Time now for halftime here at the FIFA World Cup 2026 on iHeartRadio, presented by Fox One. And now a look at today's first half.
Still scoreless after 45 minutes in Boston between France and Morocco, but it is not without a couple chances, especially from the French side there. Anderson Hurst, former Sounder and current Sounder, play-by-play voice, Danny Jackson here with you. We are kicking off our quarterfinal set here with a fantastic matchup between France and Morocco. 0-0 after 45 minutes. Let's get our first half recap brought to you by the Home Depot. Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 setup. Build it like Beckham from living room to lawn with the Home Depot and take the fast free delivery assist. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporters, subject to availability. Danny, what are your thoughts on that first half?
Well, fairly even in possession, but much of the play was in the attacking half of the field for France. 13 shots for France against Morocco's 1, which came from that free kick from Hakimi at the very end, just outside the box. But yes, penalty miss, of course, by Mbappe. He looked frustrated that the call from VAR took so long. Yeah. But then again, I think Stu and John mentioned it on the call. You have to reset. You're a big enough player. You're mentally strong enough. He's shown it so many times. Take a step back, reset, go through your entire motion again, and then go again. So, unfortunate penalty. It was a poor penalty in the end. Sometimes you just want to wrap your foot around it. You saw with Harry Kane, there was a little stutter step. We've seen it quite a few times. Messi, of course, missing 2 penalties already this World Cup. Harry Kane against Mexico whipped it, got his head over the ball and just crushed it into the back of the net. I thought Mbappe should have maybe done that. Just, hey, put my idea of what I was going to do out of the picture, just wrap my foot around it and smash it in the back of the net. Bono's made a couple of big saves, one off the head of from a set piece, and then Doué of that shot about 15 yards. Should have done a little better. It was a little scuffed shot in the end, and they've looked dangerous at France, certainly in and around the box. But even when Hakimi goes bombing down that right-hand side, you thought it might be an opening for France to take advantage. It did come down that left-hand side a lot, but they did a decent job, did Morocco, to slide across and try and delay at least the left-hand side. Yeah, they're defending well against a France team that is coming at them in waves. Let's talk about the penalty, the decision, the VAR check. Does Mbappe have a qualm, something to be frustrated about for how long it took? And is it on the referee to not set up everyone knowing that there is a check-in process? Well, the referee kept getting on about where players were in and outside the box. He just felt very busy and distracted himself. And I think he wasn't communicating right, maybe to the players. Just hold them back, say, hey, VAR's getting checked. Just be very clear in your communication, and then you can reset everybody once the decision is made. It took too long. Listen, FIFA's had a tough time these last few days. VAR decisions, suspension of red cards. You know, there has to be, a review of VAR at the end of this World Cup. What is, what isn't, how it should be done. Can you use some of the technology out there to be a little quicker? I think the question was that tackle? Did he touch the ball before that tackle? Did Mbappe drag his foot? It looked like he dragged his foot a bit more for Mazraoui when he went through and made that tackle. But in the end of the day, it was given, and Mbappe, being the player he is, should have done better. Yeah, it's one of those situations. I don't know the exact rules, so I'll get your thoughts on this. Once the referee clears that, can Mbappe take as long as he needs to reset himself? I think he can. And I think he just should.
Yes.
At some point, let the referee just kind of take a step back and go through your motion. And I think everybody would appreciate that and respect that as well. But, yeah, he needs to take control of that in that instance.
France still look like the more likely team to score, but Morocco defending well and getting a couple chances of their own. 0-0 after 45 minutes in this quarterfinal matchup. Let's come back. Let's get our keys to the second half. Coming up next, you're listening to the 2026 FIFA World Cup on iHeartRadio.
Upgrade your FIFA World Cup 2026 viewing experience. Build it like Beckham from the living room to the lawn with the Home Depot. Create a box seating experience with flowers for pops of color surrounding your pitch, the smell of grilled favorites, and a freshly painted fence sporting your team's colors. Fast free delivery is your home field advantage with charcoal, string lights, or whatever the game calls for right to your door. A clean assist. Build it like Beckham for match day. The Home Depot, official FIFA World Cup 2026 supporter. Subject to availability.
This is Lele Pons from Suite 305 with Lele Pons. Game day at my house, it's chaos, but like in a fun way. The TV's ready, the remotes are ready, the kids' stores are going off, and somehow everybody needs batteries at the exact same time. That's why I keep Duracell stocked. And Duracell just released limited edition Duracell and Messi battery packs. The design is inspired by Messi's iconic left leg tattoo. So every battery feels like it comes with an extra kick. From the TV remote to automatic corkscrew, Duracell keeps us game day ready. Duracell double and AAA batteries are the only ones built different with power boost ingredients for long-lasting performance you can trust. Find the limited edition Duracell and Messi batteries in stores at Lowe's and Walmart or on Amazon.
Introducing B of A Rewards, a new way to reward your every ambition. It all starts with a Bank of America checking account and grows from there. You get cashback deals on brands you know and love, plus a credit card rewards bonus, helping you earn more rewards on things you buy every day. Join B of A Rewards today for rewards tailored to your lifestyle. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Open or enroll your account at bankofamerica.com/B of A Rewards. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Welcome back to iHeartRadio's coverage of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. 0-0 between France and Morocco in our first quarterfinal matchup of this tournament. Anderson Hurst, Danny Jackson with you. Let's get our keys to the second half. They're brought to you by Fox One. The excitement of the FIFA World Cup is now streaming live on Fox One, the official English streaming platform to catch every unforgettable moment. Fox One brings the action straight to your screen so you never miss a goal. Download Fox One and experience the FIFA World Cup live. Danny Jackson, what's your key to the second half here for Morocco?
Well, I think for Morocco, it continues to be much the same. Bend, don't break. They try to build out the back at times. Were caught in the counter press from France. That caused them problems. They decided to change things up, go long on their goal kicks and be a bit more direct. Even though they don't have that threat in behind, they are trying to play a little longer, try and release that pressure. And you try and execute the final third. They had one chance from a free kick. It was a poor free kick from Hakimi, but they're going to have to execute on one or two chances they do get, whether it's from a set piece or from open play when France just switch off a little bit. And then take advantage on the flip side, take advantage of France maybe becoming impatient.
Yes.
As they start to rush and force things a little bit. They might force some extra players up the left-hand side with Digne, who likes to go forward for Aston Villa at the domestic level in the Premier League. We haven't seen him do too much of that. He's been holding back. Does he get released at some point, giving some space and gaps in the back? In the end of the day, France have so much depth. Their bench has got lots of different options. I mean, let's look at Turkey and Barcola. And who else do we have? We have Tchouaméni, if he's available. Thuram, of course.
Zaire Emery.
Yeah, exactly. Mateta.
Yeah.
So lots of options for Deschamps to make some changes, but they're getting the chances. They're getting the chances in and around the 18-yard box. Now they have to rely on the quality to execute. And we haven't seen the likes of Elise really be open around that 18-yard box. He's been the playmaker somewhat so far on the periphery. Can he find spaces in between that back line?
Yeah, speaking of outside backs that fly forward, on the Morocco side of things, do you like what they have been doing with Hakimi and just kind of allowing him to venture forward as far as he really needs to kind of find himself in this game on the attacking side of the ball?
Listen, he's a fantastic athlete. They don't have anything in behind. Is he the threat that can separate himself through the back line and be a threat in behind? Yes. He's also given the freedom to do that by the team, and the team will adjust, as we mentioned. They've slid over well. Then central midfield players are that cushion right in front of that back three or back four, depending on what Hakimi does. They've been a good protection so far. But the key is when France do win the ball, to counter quickly and try and expose those gaps.
Yeah, and let's flip things over to the France side of things. What do they need to do? Is it just more of the same, trust the process sort of situation where you know you're getting chances? We saw what Mbappe can do one-on-one in space. How do you have that happen more often?
A goal might come from an area you don't expect. We've seen it with the penalty, of course. That was great play by Mbappe, and then he takes it and misses it. But maybe it's a set piece. They've got some big, powerful players, and in Saliba, Upamecano can also get up there and attack. But the likes of Rabiot has been attacking in that final third. He's got more adventurous in his play. He's down that left-hand side. We've seen him pop up on that right-hand side as well. So expect maybe a goal from a player that wouldn't be the person on top of the list, I think, in the second half.
I really like what I've seen from Kone, who kind of started on this World Cup journey on the periphery, as you were mentioning, with Tchouaméni kind of being that solid player right next to Rabiot. He comes in when Tchouaméni gets injured, and the last two games, he has really proven his value. Plays at Roma, 25 years old. A lot of this French team is built with superstars, both in forward and in defense. He's been one of the few guys where I follow the game really closely. I didn't know much about him coming into this tournament, but the last two games have really impressed me.
He's played box to box. We've seen him break up attacks for Morocco when they've actually crossed the halfway line. He's won the ball well. He's a powerful athlete. Then we saw him take a couple of shots in and around the 18-yard box. One that looked like it was on target and it was blocked away. So these are the type of players that sometimes come to the forefront when Dembele or Elise doing maybe not having the day that they need, and Mbappe, someone like that can unlock a back four or back five when you least expect it.
Back to Morocco's side of things, are you just playing to keep it at 0-0, get it to extra time, get it to penalties at this point? You see how much of an advantage with your goalkeeper in Bono. Is that really the end goal here, or are they trying to nick a goal on the counter as well?
I don't think so. I think it was a slow churn against Canada. They went behind in other games as well. So I think against the Netherlands, certainly against Canada, they took their time, they were patient, they found their goals in the end. But yes, listen, Bono's already shown it. We said it in pre-game. Penalties could be a place that Morocco get the job done. They got it done against the Netherlands. They won't be fearful. Can they get to the semi-final? 2 World Cups in a row.
Yeah, what about one more quick thought? Are they trying to build out of the back too much? They've seen they give the ball away a couple times to France, and they're firepower attack.
As I mentioned, they flipped the script a little bit. They went a little along for a little period of time just to release that pressure. We've seen teams forced to build out the back, and eventually they get caught and punished. These guys, as a young team, they shifted quickly. They were mature in their decision. They pushed up the line. They knocked it long, and then they can build again. It just kind of separates the field a little bit and releases that pressure.
Yeah, we got an excellent second 45 minutes coming up between France and Morocco. We'll talk to you after the game. You're listening to the 2026 FIFA World Cup on iHeartRadio.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Peter Bogdanovich is a man of many talents.
Peter Bogdanovich burst upon the film.
Bogdanovich is best known as a director of films like The Last.
Peter Bogdanovich helped change the way movies were made, starting with his first hit in 1971. The Last Picture Show.
Thought you might want to go to the picture show.
Yeah, might as well go.
At age 31, he became one of the hottest directors in Hollywood.
All his life, he has wanted to make movies, and he did.
His self-confidence. He knew what he wanted to do.
Now, this movie fan is a successful director.
Peter's career was kind of the ultimate triumph of the film critic, film nerd, film buff.
And he liked being in love.
Peter and I, we were the first unmarried couple on the cover of People magazine. Oh, horrors.
You have her, you have 4 pictures in a row that make...
People hated them.
A guy has to learn to hate you.
But Peter's success did not last.
I made a lot of mistakes, but we're starting again now.
And just as he was on his way back up,
she fell in love with another man.
The happiest girl in the world.
Dorothy Stratton.
he suffered an unspeakable tragedy.
Playboy magazine's 1980 Playmate of the Year has been found shot to death.
And finally, the phone rings. I answered it. It was Hefner. He said 2 words. Dorothy's dead.
I'm Ben Mankiewicz, your host for The Plot Thickens, a new podcast from Turner Classic Movies. Each season, we'll bring you an in-depth story about the movies and the people who make them. Our first season, I'm still Peter Bogdanovich.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one.
We now rejoin Fox's live play-by-play coverage of the second half of today's FIFA World Cup 2026 match. Follow all the exclusive World Cup action on iHeartRadio.
The stance, so absolutely no panic for France. And as long as they got that big guy over there for Morocco, things are going well. He's had a really good tournament and another really good half.
What a good first half. Yassine Bono, Zlatan. How in goal for Morocco? In goal for Morocco?
Yeah.
Bono?
He saved penalties before, and he did it today again. He's a massive goalkeeper, and if he can continue like this, he's going to give Morocco a chance.
Thierry, did it get in his head, do you think? I mean, I know you don't know, but Kylian Mbappe made to wait more than 3 minutes, but also having to keep resetting the ball like that. How, as you've taken a million penalties, how distracting is that?
He took some penalties before where he had to wait. He just missed a penalty, which happens. We saw Leo Messi missing penalty. We saw some others missing penalties, so it's not going to affect him, I hope. And let's see what's going to happen in the second half. But penalty miss can happen.
It's interesting. France are out.
They're ready.
They've been out for a little while,
They are
Lexi.
ready.
Morocco making them wait. All part of the mind games, huh?
Yeah. Go ahead. Make France wait. You don't want to poke that bear.
Little smile on the face of Michael Elise. They're still not coming out. We're looking right now. They're on their way out. They're on their way out now. It is goalless right now. Don't forget, Morocco has never beaten France in 7 attempts. Here they come. I mean, talk about taking their time, Zlatan. I mean, it's just casual.
I don't know if this is mind games or what, but they're taking their time. But if you make France angry, watch out. They're gonna make you pay for it.
Well, they made Kylian Mbappe wait over 3 minutes for the penalty, didn't they? VAR did, and now Morocco have made France wait nearly 3 extra minutes over the 15-minute allotted half-time. They're ready to go as he rubs his hands. He is ready to go. 7 goals in this World Cup so far. Massive 45 minutes back in the hands of Stu Holden and first John Strong.
And Rebecca, it wasn't just that Morocco took their time in the locker room. They actually stopped at one point in that tunnel where it turns a corner and actually is the corridor to the field. They stopped and waited there for a while as well. It's a French team with experience and heat. Remember, they played in over 100-degree temperatures in Philadelphia on Saturday, and they were able to grind Paraguay down and get a win in that game. Second half is underway. No changes for either side. France trying to box Morocco in their own half with that opening kickoff, playing it straight out of bounds. And here's the other question for you, though, Stu. This is a French team that scored 13 goals their first 4 games. Last game and a half, if you exclude penalty kicks, 26 shots taken, 0 goals scored. Are we concerned? Did something change?
Not at all. Because their last match, you have to consider, they played against a Paraguayan team that sat on top of their goal and just made life difficult. This is much more of an open game. You saw, though, even as Morocco were meandering out into this field, Mbappe standing on the halfway line, rubbing his hands, gesturing to his teammates with that little twinkle of a smile that he has had throughout this tournament. That's why our guys in the studio are saying, look out, because this French team is going to come reinvigorated out of this locker room. And so far for Bono, it's been a beautiful day, but he has to, in this second half, understand there's going to be more times that he's going to have to stand up against this French attack. But for Morocco, really trying to have spells of possession with the ball, withstanding pressure. The longer this game goes, though, I think they will start to believe more and more.
And you see the heat still here in Foxborough. There's a nice little cloud cover right now blocking the direct sun. And in case you're curious, okay, why would we hold this game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon kickoff in this time of year? Well, keep in mind, in Paris right now, it's just past 11 p.m. It's just past 10 p.m. in Casablanca. You hold it later, it's in the middle of the night for them. That's part of the consideration for the kickoff times at this World Cup is viewers in Europe, viewers in Africa, the entire globe tune into this tournament. Here's an opportunity for Morocco. It was Unahi who started it. It's Unahi who continues it. He hands it off to the far side. Brahim Diaz was slowed up there by the flight of the ball. Comes across for Talbi. He's going to get it off the head of Koundé. That was really promising for a moment, and it just got bogged down when it mattered most. Shamsuddin Talbi, Unahi, 1v4. Didn't really have any options to cross to, but it's wedged away. Brahim Diaz couldn't get a shot cleanly away. It was blocked down. Another of these little spells for Morocco, and they're able to win it back. Bouadi, the teenager, as that ball was caught up in the breeze.
Brahim Diaz, one of Morocco's most dangerous players. African Cup of Nations, scored in every single game. Has yet to score in this tournament, but he's been providing the assists. 4 assists for him so far, second only to Olise for France, and has looked lively when he's had the ball. It just couldn't, I'm just looking at him right now, left side of your screen, just a little bit of frustration. He couldn't get the shot off there in that angle. Oh, good job by Upamecano getting a body on Talbi, because it looked like he was going to get him behind. So a good start to the half here for Morocco.
Brahim Diaz, the 4 assists, most by any African player at a single World Cup. Long it goes. And Doué couldn't bring it down cleanly. It's tackled away by Hakimi. But the decision is goal kick.
France looking for that long direct ball. Doué was onside. Timed his run well. Hakimi still trying to get back after attacking on the right. But not only did he get back, then he was able to put Doué under pressure and win a goal kick. So this is kind of like the start of the first half, where now Morocco are back to, look, they're dropping Bouadi between the center backs. They're going to look to play. They've got a little bit of a different structure, but France, they're not going to sit back. That's the ball they want. Saliba would just eat that one up all day, which he just did there. Now they're open.
Olise turned the other way. He's going to return for Rabiot. Eats it up. Clean interception there, an important one. And a big tackle, one in the middle by El Anawi, knocking Kone off the ball. Talbi trying to chase it down, cannot do so. And Manu Kone is down on the other end of the field after he was in that hard 50-50 collision in that sequence. And for Koundé, second career World Cup quarterfinal. A referee from Argentina comes over to take a look at him. Didier Deschamps looking on at what he hopes is not his final game in charge of this French team, his 185th game in total. Scan the QR code on the screen. Vote for your Michelob Ultra Superior Player of the Match. Yassine Bono is the best pick so far. 3 first-half saves, including the penalty from Kylian Mbappe. Great close-range save on an Upamecano header 4 minutes in. Morocco try to beat France for the first time ever. They're already the first African nation ever to make a quarterfinal twice. Could they become the first ever to make a semifinal twice? France are trying to continue their march towards a 3rd straight World Cup final, would join Brazil and Germany as the only nations ever to make a semifinal in 3 consecutive tournaments. And for each of these teams, it has been an awful long time since they've lost a game. France have not lost a competitive match, a full counting game in a year. They've rarely been beaten at the World Cup in recent tournaments. And Morocco, it's pending still one final court appeal in Switzerland, whether or not they are indeed winners of the Africa Cup of Nations. But that was the first loss they had with their full team in 2 years, since January of 2024, at least on the field of Senegal.
Got a little advantage here. They've got a 3v2.
Well, Canals hands it off. Talbi.
As you pointed out many times, nobody in the box right now. And so that makes it fairly predictable. Upamecano doing a great job there coming over, but
no, it's a corner. Referee says it's a corner.
Wow, they seem surprised. So
because he was shepherding that out, thinking for sure it would be a goal kick.
And Hakimi has provided some really good delivery from this right side, from from set pieces rather. 7 chances created from set pieces. He leads the team in chances created, and he's going to come all the way over to take this. He and Diaz in the corner.
As we pointed out some other stadiums, this is difficult for Mike Mignon if it comes in, because he's going to be staring right in the sun from where this ball is going to be coming from in the shade, if it is indeed a cross from Hakimi. Unahi able to wriggle away from Dembele. Under hit the cross, blocked by Mbappe. And it's just going to be lumped to nowhere in the end. And now Luca Digne, who hit the crossbar. It did come off the fingertips of Bono late in the first half. At the very least, you can see now the shade from the top of the stadium. There's no roof here in Foxborough. It's covering the near sideline and bench areas. Doué. Koundé for Dembele. Bounced right back to him. In now, Desiree Doué trying to scoop it forward for Elise. It was knocked away. Boadi, as he was being knocked backwards, able to get it clear. Unahi has a couple different runners. It's Shamsuddin Talbi. Upamecano running with them. And he tackles it out.
They've looked more efficient, haven't they, on the counterattack in the second half of Morocco? A little bit more life, a little bit more commitment with multiple numbers to get into those positions. Great running by Talbi. He looks re-energized a little bit after the break, but it's finding that first pass out of pressure that has been so successful for them, because if they play 1-2, it takes out that French counter press, and now it opens up, and you can see they just slowing that tempo down again, which is something you heard Zlatan talking about at halftime, that the tempo of the game being at, because of the conditions, because of the heat, the way the water dries up on the grass, it slows it down. But Morocco seem quite content with this type of pace. They don't want to open up unless it's the moments that they can counterattack. Otherwise, they don't want the French team moving the ball around really quickly and opening them up.
You know, one of the things you brought up even pregame when we saw the lineup is that Mohamed Wabi, because of the injury, electing not to go with, as you put it, a reference point, a center forward in there. And so, as you've been pointing out, moments where they get in the attack, they don't have anyone in front of goal. Yeah. At what point does that become a problem? Where's the goal going to come from?
They're not a huge crossing team, though, but it is a huge miss for them, missing Saibari, as the ball is going to be turned over.
And then turned right back. And now Mbappe, and the Moroccans are retreating. Out for Doué. On Hakimi, gets it away right at Yassine Bono. Got his whole body behind it. That might have been knuckling some. It's Bono's 4th save.
And France still haven't found what they're looking for, as this one comes in. It's very comfortable for Bono. In those moments, and you see Doué, he's had a really lively first half. Need a little bit more, I think, combination play at times where he can pop the ball in, then get isolated 1v1. Anytime France can get him isolated in those situations, he's so good at beating his man off the dribble. And keeping him high and wide forces Hakimi to stay back as well. But I just wonder as well, at what point does Deschamps think, okay, let's get Barcola in the game. Let's change it up. It's not quite that time yet. They still are in control, but you want to make sure you have enough forcing and keeping this Moroccan team honest at the back.
Because it was when Doué replaced Barcola in the last game. A couple minutes later, he won the penalty to win the winning goal. Oh, it's going to find Mbappe. He missed it. Boy, it was Elise who made the run. It was an awkward little bounce for Kylian Mbappe, but you're so used to seeing him put those on target.
Yeah, but watch this from Elise. He's got the 18-year-old Boadi coming up to pressure him, and he's thinking he's just going to dump it off, and Mbappe would have been offside had that one gone in. But the way Elise there just goes through the gears with the speed, and then the through ball there with the little left to right to create the angle for the pass. Terrific. And he had second most touches on the field, Elise, in that first half, but we didn't see him in those types of positions enough. He is oh, what a ball.
Dembele there, just a blind ball to a wide open Desiree Doué. Mbappe on the outside of him. Mbappe on Achraf Hakimi. Got some support there. It was El Anawi who slid over and blocked the return pass for Doué. Doué back heel. Mbappe Longtime former teammate Hakimi, opponents for a 5th time. Those two. Dembele early in for Elise. Just nowhere for him to go. Doué turns it inside. Doué, Mbappe. Hakimi got to be careful. Mbappe clips it up in the back post. It'll come all the way through.
Yeah, it looked like there was maybe a little touch on the heels of Mbappe, but he ends up staying on his feet to keep this play alive. I love Doué there, just letting that ball run across him, facing the play, but then as soon as he turns, now he's opening up the game. French bodies buzzing around the ball. Mbappe trying to get free. I'm just seeing the constant interchanging of the front line of players trying to find spaces to get isolated, to get in behind this Moroccan defense, which has really been doing a great job to this point of staying compact and together.
Morocco are going to go to their bench. They have 2 substitutes preparing to come on. Looks like Sofiane Rahimi is one of them, a player we thought might be starting for the injured Saibari. It was a clever flick by El Canals, and it was indeed a handball by Jules Koundé. It's the sound of the Moroccan supporters. In fact, you're seeing the French, you're hearing the Moroccans. Main supporter sections on opposite ends of the stadium here in Foxborough.
And Rahimi coming in would suggest kind of the answer to your question that you had for me, which was Morocco playing without a designated striker, playing with 2 attacking players that are essentially 10s, operating underneath, floating, finding different types of space. Now Rahimi coming in is going to play up against the center backs. He's going to try to run them out of positions that potentially opens up some space. You're also trying to get some fresh legs against this French defense to keep them honest, to keep the pressure on the midfield.
Good work by Kone to turn it inside. Pass took a deflection, but France will keep it. Those numbers tell the story, not just the discrepancy in shots, but the fact that it's 0-0. Doué took that away. That looked like it was going backwards to Rabiot. Rabiot's able to win it back. Did he use his hand? Referee says no. Digne crosses it in. Knocked away by Mazraoui. Rabiot heads it back in. Doué able to find Mbappe. Through traffic, Kylian Mbappe! 20 career World Cup goals! Gives France the lead in the quarterfinal.
And as the French celebrate, the Moroccans protesting with the referee here about a potential handball in the lead up to this goal. But just how quickly it can happen for the French. And for that man, once again, his 8th goal of the tournament, as this ball just gets turned over right here. Quick touch through the legs, and Mbappe doesn't need much space. Morocco back off. It was also close whether he was onside or not, but he just gets Diop to freeze for half a second there as he looks to try to engage. That touch there, hesitation, says, you're going to give me that? Thank you very much. The top spin on the ball, the quick release is what catches Bono, and he has no chance getting to that ball. Kylian Mbappe, once again, for the infallible French.
Morocco are still upset. We have not seen a replay of whether it was indeed a handball.
And they're holding the subs right now. So, and there's the signal. So that goal's been given.
The goal is good. Kylian Mbappe, 20 World Cup games played, 20 World Cup goals scored. And here come the changes. So the 18-year-old Boadi will be replaced by the 29-year-old veteran Sofiane Amrabat. And it looks like El Canals will be the player withdrawn to get the center forward Rahimi on the field.
I mean, it's just one of those moments for Morocco where you just think, how does that happen? We've been playing a great second half. We're in the game, defensively organized. I'll tell you how. Magic, brilliance. That's just individual class of the highest order. Just sensational. I don't know how you stop that. I mean, Diop is 2 yards away from him, and he gets the shot off in the far corner. Just incredible.
And then Diop just dumps Mbappe to the turf off the ball right now. Salah-Eddin under some pressure, trying to steer it back. Morocco will keep it. He scored a goal like that against Sweden. As Mbappe's still down, his ability to generate power and spin with not really much of a run-up, is that something you can teach, or is that just sort of an innate God-given skill that he has?
I think it's more the latter, but it's clear it's something he has worked on so much, his finishing from different parts of the field. And I'd love to have, and we will, dissect this with two of the best. Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Thierry Henry about that quality.
And Diop was late. Mbappe down in pain for a second time. Again, these two a decade ago were teammates at the under-19 level playing for France together. Opponents today for the first time in 8 years.
And it's frustration because when you can't get close to a guy like that, that's the only way you can stop him. And comes in late. Look at the touch from Mbappe outside of the foot around the corner, about to accelerate away. Textbook yellow card there. And probably one, honestly, that Diop's quite happy to take after conceding the goal.
In saying that, if Morocco were to come from behind and win, he would not play in the semifinal. Yellow cards are wiped out after the quarterfinal. So if you get through this game without getting a second yellow in the knockout, you're fine.
And the bad news for Morocco is if they need any more down a goal. The French, after scoring first, 18 straight, unbeaten.
And they've not lost a World Cup game when scoring first since the 80s. Not that it needs to be a loss, as we saw Morocco against the Netherlands. They tied it up right at 90 minutes. They won in a penalty shootout. French will know that too. They'll want more. Mbappe returns. Rabiot into the middle. Diop was there to clear it away. Kylian Mbappe today is passing his coach Didier Deschamps in the France all-time appearance leader list. You see he's gone level with Messi at this tournament. He's one shy of Messi for that all-time goal-scoring mark. Tying Hugo Lloris's record for most games played at the World Cup of any French player. He, like Messi, we're just running out of superlatives to say about him.
The big players turn up in the big moments. That's as evident as just even seeing the Golden Boot list there. You got 5 of the best players in the world on that list.
Miroslav Klose is a long ways in the rearview mirror. He held that record for a long time. All-time goals at a World Cup. Big tangle of bodies behind the play. The French will play on. And that was knocked away. A little casual there from Elise. Brahimi, and that's going to tail out. He was trying to just play it out in space and getting a foot race with Upamecano.
And it's Mbappe once again. Look at that. I mean, as that ball is moving, you can see it's moving from the top spin on it, where most players are thinking in that moment, okay, can I bend it? Can I hit it? Start it outside the post, make it difficult for the keeper. And I think that's why even Bono there recognizes he has no time to get across to it because the shot came off so quickly.
Here they come for more. Dembele! Dembele!
And Dembele, not to be overshadowed by Kylian Mbappe. The way the two of them all tournament have been scoring and assisting each other. Dembele has 2 assists from Mbappe in this tournament. I'm going to give this one a third. If you watch the run, finds the pass from Elise. Mbappe, it is a 3rd assist for him. Look at the run. He drags the defender inside, and that opens up the gap. So it's the instant recognition there from Dembele. Well, now 2 defenders are going with Mbappe. They're going left, I'm going right, and then finishes down to the bottom corner past Bono, who stood tall in the first half. That look says it all for the Moroccans. You can see that first one, and then France hit you with the second. His 5th goal of the tournament now as well. And France with a 2-goal cushion.
Clip long for Rahimi to chase. The Moroccans are desperate. They've got a little less than 30 minutes to find a way to turn this around. There was a time when Ousmane Dembele, reigning winner of Ballon d'Or's World Player of the Year, couldn't score a goal at a World Cup or any major tournament. That was a couple weeks ago. He now has 5 goals in his last 5 games at this World Cup. Our hydration break is powered by Powerade. It comes with the French. 2 goals, 6 minutes apart, in complete control here in Foxborough, with a spot in the semifinal Tuesday afternoon in Dallas at stake. What can Morocco do in response? We'll find out.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
They're calling them the Leesville.
We now have the list of fugitives.
Breaking news out of South Texas.
U.S. Marshal. A group of 4 inmates escaped.
They are still armed and extremely dangerous.
Everyone, listen up. I'm Deputy Emily Barnes, and this is my partner, Anthony Mora. We're running this investigation. 4 hours ago, 4 inmates assaulted and restrained 7 officers. Then they stole a maintenance truck filled with guns and ammunition.
And they're highly dangerous.
We don't know where these men are heading, so they're sticking to their lives on the outside. Family, friends, pen pals. I want names, addresses, social media. I'm going to catch these guys however I can.
You're never going to find Alex. You might get those other guys, but not him.
Get on the ground now! Stay on the ground! Drop your weapons! U.S. Marshals!
From here on out, it's kill or be killed. Nothing's getting in our way.
Dick Wolf, Wolf Entertainment and Endeavor Audio present Hunted, starring Parker Posey. Find Hunted wherever you get your podcasts.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
This conversation from Morocco's perspective, they were doing an awful lot right.
Yeah.
And then they get hit with 2 punches 6 minutes apart. What's the conversation? What's their plan now with 20 minutes to go?
Well, the hardest part for the Moroccans is that a lot of their strength came from their ability to limit the French attack and keep the game scoreless. But the second that dam is broken, it is floodgates, and it is the French attack having more space, because now you have to chase the game. You're down 2-0 in the quarterfinal. You're gonna have to go for the game. You have to make more attacking subs. What does it do? Well, it opens you up to the counterattack, and that's just where the French are so lethal. That's where that goal came from, and it's an important second goal. But now also France are going to make some subs. They're going to bring on other options. Looks like Zaire Emery's going to come in as well for them.
And Manu Kone is going to be taken off. He was one of the players shown a yellow in the last game, so he would be at risk of suspension for the semifinal. And this will be a World Cup debut for 20-year-old Warren Zaire Emery. Plays at Paris Saint-Germain with a number of these French players, and Achraf Hakimi as well. And had not seen the field yet of this tournament.
You've got to think as well, in the back of Deschamps' mind is also the yellow card that Olise is carrying, and
which the French tried to appeal.
Yeah, which they're probably going to give it a couple more minutes here, and would be thinking about that sub for sure. Just want to make sure the game stays the way it does. Morocco they're going to give it a go here, though. We'll see if they can. That's the harder part.
From a French perspective, barring what happens the next 20 minutes, if you're Spain or Belgium, if you're on the other side of the bracket, if you're preparing to face France,
but it's nothing you didn't know coming in.
Right, so how do you stop it? What do you do?
I was shaking my head, and as we were in the break there, looking at that goal again from Mbappe, the slow-mo from behind as the ball just goes with power, dip, whatever, everything into that far corner, just thinking that there's no goalkeeper in the world that can save that.
Maybe one that's 9 feet 6 inches tall. I don't know. You saw, by the way, Mbappe is now technically ahead of Lionel Messi because he has more assists, even as they are tied in the Golden Boot race with the same number of goals. Okay, what can Morocco do? Hakimi, and it was under hit in the end for Brahim Diaz. It's a Moroccan team that has showed guts, that have showed heart so many times before to get to these back-to-back quarterfinals. First African nation ever to do so. What can they do here in Foxborough? Shamsuddin Tabi, they were down a goal late. 90+1 they scored against the Dutch to force extra time. We saw Belgium against Senegal come back from 2 goals down with 5 minutes to go to force extra time. But a Moroccan team that came to this tournament without 2 injured starters, that came into this game without 2 more injured starters. What do they have left to give? And they're going to make 2 more substitutions in the wings at the next opportunity. Shamsuddin Tabi, he'll hook that cross in from deep. That was mishit. It ends up on the roof of the net. That took a weird, either a bounce or just the flight of the ball fooled Upamecano.
Yeah, well, he's trying to hit it with the laces on the half bounce there, instead of using the larger surface of your foot, the inside, just to sweep it away. Results in a sliced ball that just goes over Magnon's goal. So maybe from a Moroccan perspective, they can get back into this game with a set piece, create something that they haven't been able to do from open play.
Hakimi, the pump fake. With this in deep to the back post, it's too deep. Held it on the other side, or at least attempting to hold it on the other side. Unahi could not do so. And it breaks down there. Here come the changes. And Salah-Eddin, who was brought into the lineup because of the injuries, one of the players off. Mbappe now sits 1 away from Messi's all-time World Cup goal-scoring record. And Brahim Diaz, a player that has so much weight on his shoulders of expectation, playing at Real Madrid. 2 assists in the last game. His day is done now. Kassim Yassine, who part of what changed the game for Morocco against the Netherlands, is on. Zakaria El Wadi is making his World Cup debut. Had not played so far at this tournament. And Yassine, another French-born player. The 4th to see the field today for Morocco against France, and he commits that early foul. It's a warm one today. Luckily, they had those hats to hand out to people to try to block the sun. Shouldn't have quite the same issue tomorrow in Los Angeles. It'll certainly be very warm, but it'll at least be later. There shouldn't be as much direct sun on the field for Norway, England, and Miami. It'll be a nighttime kickoff in Kansas City between the Swiss and Argentina, and then both semifinals indoors in Dallas and Atlanta. And so it's kind of over to you, East Rutherford, New Jersey, for what the conditions will be for a daytime kickoff a week from Sunday in the final. Quarter hour to go here in Foxborough. Goals 6 minutes apart. Mbappe and Dembele. Mbappe's 3rd assist, just to Ousmane Dembele. After the French had been largely frustrated for the opening hour of the game, including Mbappe having a penalty saved in the first half.
And that's one of the stats I did love coming into this game, was that between Mbappe and Dembele, they combined for 6 goals. Well, now it's 7.
We got a man down here. We got a concern.
Oh, it's Mbappe.
And this is the last thing.
Yeah, that is
that France wants to see. And this building has just gone off the quiet.
I was just about to say that. It's taking the air out of the building here. some concern for sure. Now he's walking off. It's hard to judge by players' reactions in these moments, and he was holding his right foot, it looked like.
And he had plenty of injury issues this season at Real Madrid. He's going to get a great ovation now, though. Goal and an assist today.
I think also the way he's coming off like that is potentially a signal of don't worry about me, but we will see. That's something to watch. But no visible limp, we'll potentially get a replay of maybe a moment that happened with him off the ball. But nonetheless, Mbappe is off. The difference maker once again. Got the goal scoring started for France and then laid one off for Dembele, opened up the field for him. Dembele finished it off. And now Mateta on the field.
Jean-Philippe Mateta, 8 minutes played at this tournament. Again, you could be an excellent, incredible, world-class player, but if you're one of a few certain nationalities, you might struggle to get on the field at the World Cup. Rade Barcola replacing Desiree Doué as the other sub. Now tomorrow on Fox, quarterfinals continue. It's Spain against Belgium in Los Angeles. Coverage starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, live on Fox. Winner of this game, winner of that game. Meet Tuesday in Dallas in the first semifinal. France looking to slam the door shut now. It's going to come in, and that was meant for Mateta. Chance to get his first ever World Cup goal at the age of 29. And then a foul committed on Yassine. And yeah, I think the combination of the heat, the 2 French goals, Mbappe coming off, there's an awful lot of fans here sort of thinking, okay, job done, we're exhausted.
I'm sure there's a few players out there feeling the same. And especially how deflating is it if you're a Moroccan player right now and you're in the game, you're feeling good, as we said, and then you go down 2 goals and you think, well, now we got to chase the game. Now we've got to find a way to try to get in this. And then all of a sudden, even in that last break, in that sequence where France, they smell the blood every counterattack, and they just pour numbers into the attack to try to hit you one more time and get that 3rd goal.
Hakimi, nice little move to create the space, trying to get a cross in, takes a deflection. Rahimi is there to bring it down. Didn't really have a great option to lay it off to. Amrabat holds it in, and awkwardly dealt with there by Rabiot. No real shouts from the Moroccan players.
Look at the speed here now.
Barcola will slow it up. Elise. Barcola into the box. Cuts it back. Took an awkward deflection. Almost steered it goal bound. It'll come out for a corner.
Oh, Mateta made a great run off the goal line about the penalty spot. Watch his run in the middle as Barcola comes inside. He thinks he's going to run, stops, looks for the angle, trying to get that cutback ball to finish off in what would have been his first touch of the game. A great running from Barcola, had been starting the last couple of games for them.
Rabiot under some pressure. Nice touch there on Yassine. And the defiant shrill whistles from the Moroccan supporters as the opposition's in possession, despite a disheartening day for them. Lucadinho hooks it in. Mateta's up for it, and it bounced off the defender, in fact, El Wadi. That worked in the end to steer back to Bono. 10 minutes to go in Foxborough. Unahi will to weave his way into some open space. Jassim Yassine trying to cut it in on Barcola. Just nowhere to go for Morocco right now. It's going to be hooked in and awkwardly again dealt with by Upamecano. Comes off the side of his head. Morocco outshot today 17-2. When they faced off in the semifinal of the last World Cup, this was the score line. The stats were pretty even. That's going to be a free kick for Morocco. As we say, if they can get one, they can create some chaos and chase to the second. Hopefully Mbappe's okay from whatever his issue was. This was not the issue. This was just something magical and special.
The spin rate. I mean, that ball is, it's like smashing a forehand topspin in tennis. Just the way it was picking up speed as it was accelerating through there. Like I said, I mean, Diop's 3 yards away from him.
Hakimi sends it in, pings around and cleared away by Koundé. Mazraoui last man back, trying to reset it wide for Achraf Hakimi. 8 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Hakimi 2 for company, takes a kick as he plays it inside. Unahi has Talbi out wide. And the referee's going to pull this back for a free kick here. Didn't feel there was an advantage coming. Another set piece chance for Morocco.
It's been few touches in the attacking half for Hakimi. And this one, yeah, he's caught late by Rabiot. And he has been their threat. We've talked about it so much, and the prayers are up. They're hoping for something to give them an opportunity here. I wonder if he shoots this one directly on target. He tried it from closer, yeah.
Right at the end of the first half. Hakimi will roll it sideways. Unahi, Maignan save, not held. Rebound cleared away. Well, first save of the game.
The two of them combined on a set piece to score against Canada. Not the exact same type, and Maignan sees it all the way, but just strong punch away. And here come Morocco, a little bit of pressure now.
They've been allowed kind of back into this with some of these set pieces. They're getting their chances. That's going to be another corner.
He's barely had any action today, and you can see, look, he's trying to stay low and get an angle to see that coming through traffic, and was able to get enough of an angle, and the ball was hit at a height that was nice for him to make that save when he was counted upon.
And again, the referee he's actually more concerned about the placement of the ball. He's going to come over and have a chat as Mike Maignan belatedly gets the captain's armband. Off the back of his first save all game. Just his 11th save in 5 games in this tournament. Only 2 goals allowed by France. Hakimi to the near post, and it hits the outside netting. That was a wonderful opportunity. That was El Anaoui there.
Wow. That is not far away. He arrives, run from the penalty spot, gets across everybody at the front. And I think Maignan, you'll see his positioning right now. He actually ends up inside the goal as he's trying to back up here. He's not saving that if that's in. Just past that near post. Wow.
Talbi is done. It'll be a World Cup debut for 25-year-old Amin Spy, who was born in Morocco but raised in France and plays in France. Another French player playing for Morocco. He was an injury replacement late onto the roster, and he will get his first minutes of the tournament now. Morocco running out of time. Have had a flurry of opportunities. Can they keep the pressure up on this very hot day in Foxborough? After a very disheartening 6 minutes in which they conceded twice. That Spy just on the field, going to cross the net. It's easy for Maignan, even as he battles the sun. And he's going to lay it out quickly. Bradley Barcola running it on Rabat. Barcola drifting in. Dembele lets it run. Olise couldn't get enough curl.
Oh, not far away. He's looking for his first goal in the tournament. Again, the selfless running, and you've got Mateta crashing the near post. You've got Dembele letting that one run to find Olise. It's just the selflessness of this entire team, and it's a unique characteristic here, as you said, John. The interview with Jenny Taft with Didier Deschamps speaking about, look, these players are all stars at their team, and They recognize the team is the most important part of this, and you can see that manifested in the way that they play. They combine the passing, the extra pass to a teammate, not trying to make it all about you. So many different weapons.
And Malo Gusto, who's just on the field, has talked about that as well. How difficult it is for him, a guy used to starting at his club team Chelsea, to barely see the field at the World Cup, but at the same time trying to be a good teammate, trying to support the team in the right way, wanting to be part of a winner. It's great work again. Elise Dembele intercepted by Diop.
You know, especially with all the subs, it's an incredible amount of trust that Didier Deschamps has put in Elise, because he's been, so much was made about him being on the yellow card, and if he picks up another one, he misses the semifinal that's impending for them. But oh, look at the speed here.
Barcola just drifting away. Mateta running through the middle. Barcola wants it himself. Bono was alert at his near post not to get caught. Goes down to make his 5th save of the game.
Well, he's got the options in the box. He's crossed the last couple. This one, he actually tries to catch Bono at his near post, thinking he's maybe going to anticipate to his left. But Bono able to come up with the save that time. And just get a look at the ice pack on the right ankle, it looks like, of Kylian Mbappe. We'll see what that is in the days to come. But he doesn't look particularly concerned.
But that will be the major storyline for France between now and Tuesday afternoon in the semifinal. Dembele to take the ensuing corner, whipped it in. Bono beat to it by Mateta, but he couldn't get over the ball, and it ends up out.
Well, the 6'4" Mateta going up and getting this one as Bono just takes a bad angle here. Actually takes an angle behind him. But that's tough to try to, the ball of that height and pace to direct it back on target. The French just cruising through. I mean, there was a spell there for Morocco the last couple of minutes where it's some pressure from set pieces, but I don't know how much more Morocco could have done, honestly. It's just a testament to how strong, how disciplined, how in sync, and just how formidable this French team is. You said if the other team's looking about playing this team, you've got to play the game of your lives. This is one of the best teams I have ever seen, and they might get Spain or Belgium. Well, they will get Spain or Belgium in the semifinal. Spain can do damage against this French team.
Spain's beat them twice.
Yeah, they did in the Euros.
The Euros and the Nations League semifinal, that 5-4 game we called in Stuttgart.
That was an insane game.
That was definitely a game of guys that were at the end of a long season who were maybe not defending with as much intensity.
It'd be a different game, for sure.
I mean, you see the numbers. There just is a different level that certain teams, certain nations can hit and can produce that is hard to match. There's a reason only 8 countries out of the 212 eligible to win the World Cup, only 8 have ever actually won it, as that's deflected into Mike Mignon. And the last first-time winner we had was Spain in 2010. Not like it was a shock that Spain won a World Cup. It was just a shock it took them that long. And that's one of the interesting questions, because all 4 of these quarterfinals are one nation that has won the World Cup, one nation that has not. Mohamed Wabi, again, he was put in a tough situation. He was given this job on a couple months' notice. The prior coach, Reguilón, was kind of run out of town because they weren't playing well enough. Ultimately, yes, is there anything differently or better he or they could have done?
Well, and he's on the verge of having his first loss as the head coach of Morocco, and it's a team that, again, it's not bad to lose to France. It's just, we've spoken about this a fair amount, John, is coming into this tournament, an extra game, 8 to win a World Cup, 6 added minutes coming. It was going to take depth. It was going to take coaching. It was going to take teams staying healthy, as Mateta looked like he might have been onside. And the fact is, to play against a team like France, to be down one of your key players and one of your best players in the whole tournament, Saibari, that's a big loss. You're missing a player at the back as well. So the drop in quality is evident. You just don't have the same oomph up front. But to say that the result would have been different with them, I don't think it would have been. I just don't see a way in which Morocco were going to win this game.
So the flip side of that argument then is that France do have that type of depth.
Yeah.
If let's say Mbappe can't play Tuesday, or France, do they have enough oomph to beat Spain or Belgium?
I think they do, but that is a huge missing piece. He's the X factor. He's the guy today that when the game was tight creates a goal out of absolutely nothing, and then the game looks like it's in complete cruise control, which it has in the balance, but you still need those guys that can give you that top-end talent goals.
Rahimi Omokano couldn't knock him off the ball. Unahi trying to scoop it in the middle, and it's sliced backwards. Second time today there's been a slice clearance that Mignon was a little worried about for a moment, and with a little less than 5 minutes to go, Morocco have corner kick number 5. It'll be a different taker this time. It'll be Amin Sabai. Hooks it in. Mignon hesitated, headed away. There's Rabiot there. Zraoui, Unahi, Hakimi. And now the cross got into a good spot, but only man there was Saliba. That ball actually never went out of play. It was cleared wide, just not out. Dembele chased it down. Is there a chance for a French third? Do they need a third? Do they care? Are they just going to cycle it around? 4 minutes to go. What are you looking for tomorrow between Spain and Belgium? Winner of that game, presumably now against France in the semifinal.
Yeah, Spain just been picking up steam all tournament long. And then you got Marino coming off the bench, providing the game winner. Oh,
Sets up. Boy, it's like he had glue on his foot there. And then he gets nutmeg.
I'm fascinated for Rudy Garcia in Belgium after a completely dominant performance against the United States. But it would be a very different game for them, as we know. And you don't expect Spain to make the same type of mistakes that the U.S. did. But does he leave Lukaku and Doku, De Bruyne on the bench again? Does he start with the same lineup? Onana's out now for the tournament with an ACL. And I'm interested tactically what they do to try to combat this Spanish team that is so good with the ball. And they suffocate you all game long, and then they punch you in the face. I think Oyarzabal is going to be a key player again for Spain. We haven't seen a marquee match yet for Lamine Yamal in a World Cup. Feels like the stage is set for him in a quarterfinal.
It'll be in Los Angeles tomorrow, and then a doubleheader Saturday. Norway, England, and Miami. Switzerland, Argentina, and Kansas City. And those will be your final 4 for the semifinals Tuesday and Wednesday. Jean-Philippe Mateta cutting it back, mishit it. And that's a 6th save of the game, Yassine Bono. Less than 3 minutes to go here in Foxborough. Unahi running through. That's a great tackle. Just holding his ground there on the outside. Gusto. And Elise, one of those players that if shown a yellow card would have been suspended for the semifinal. Looks like he's going to get out of here unscathed.
Yeah, you can see it comes off his heel as he's looking for his first World Cup goal.
Finished the season wonderfully well at Crystal Palace with 6 goals in 13 games. As Mignon, a little bit off his line. That was ambitious from the 20-year-old Jassim Yassine. As we said, when you're that man's backup, you're probably not going to get a ton of minutes.
And this is a look at the goal. And this was, Morocco was stepping up. They think, okay, we've won the ball. Ball turns over, and then before you know it, 3 seconds later, you're behind. That finish from Dembele, just the incisiveness and also the decision-making, where he's leading left, cuts right, boom. Quick finish. The quick release is so effective. And when you've got bodies in front like that for Bono, who was terrific in the first half. He was the difference in the game, the fact that Morocco had kept the clean sheet, but they could only hold on so long.
By the way, Kylian Mbappe now 11 combined goals and assists at this World Cup. That is the most since Gerd Müller had 13 combined goals and assists back in the 1970s. Assists as a World Cup statistic are only reliably kept since 1966, but it is a historic performance already for Kylian Mbappe, scoring goals and assisting goals. And he's still got 2 games to go. And France are 30 seconds away. I mean, ultimately, is this just a professional performance in your mind?
Absolutely. It's a perfect word for it. The game never felt in doubt for France. There's a couple little moments where you're thinking, okay, Morocco's coming to life here now. End of the first half, same type of thing. It's just, you run into the final boss in France. Keep trying. But Morocco is truly an up-and-coming.
Chance for a more, Elise. Couldn't hook it enough.
But, you know, Thierry talked about it at length, and Morocco will have their moment in the future. But for now, it's the French.
Mbappe, the difference maker once again. Didier Deschamps extends his record as the winningest coach in the history of the World Cup. Destination Dallas. Tuesday afternoon in a semifinal for France, and they'll find out tomorrow who their opponent will be. Let's send you downstairs to Rebecca Lowe here in Foxborough as it finishes in the World Cup quarterfinal. France 2, Morocco 0.
FIFA World Cup takes the global stage from June 11th through July 19th on Fox 1, the official English streaming platform of FIFA World Cup 2026. Stream all 104 matches live and get closer to the action with a personalized viewing experience built around you. Choose up to 4 streams with multi-view, catch highlights before jumping into the action, get live stats in real time, and